All right. It says I'm live. Welcome, chat. Let's see. I'm going to try to put you on the screen. Make sure you guys are receiving it. All right. What's up, chat? Can you guys hear me? Confirm, and we shall begin. All right. I think I'm going to remove the donations on the screen just so they're not distracting, because this is going to be this is going to be a very I don't know, I really don't know what to expect, guys, but we're gonna have a direct confrontation, maybe blood sports. You know, Colonel Kurtz is not too familiar with like the YouTube scene, so I was telling her about it, and basically if you get really into the community, sometimes people call these like confrontations like blood sports, where like, you know, people argue really intensely. And you know, I'm gonna be direct and hopefully, you know, harsh to some degree. I respect you, by the way. I do want to get the kind words out of the way first to begin, because like, you know, I've called you a propaganda channel. I've been very critical of you in my videos, and like I gotta say, I do respect that. At least you're able to have a conversation with me, because like a lot of people might like, you know, shy away from that. And so like that out of the way, honestly, like major props for that. Because oh yeah, and in the recent video I just posted, you had a stream with the legal mindset guy, and he's like, "Oh no, don't say anybody's name, don't say anybody's name," as if it's like it's like you're saying the boogeyman's name or something.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, it was a little bit like, okay,
but yeah. So first of all,
thank you for saying that. I'm sorry,
yeah.
before you get started.
No, I was actually just gonna say, if you just introduce yourself and say some of your beginning words, because a lot of my audience actually might not be familiar with you. You know, not everybody in my audience is super interested in the Manson stuff, because I cover a lot of topics. So just go ahead and introduce yourself before we get right into it.
Okay, yes. So I go by the moniker Colonel Kurtz because Apocalypse Now is my favorite movie. It's not a reflection really of my personality. I'm not like a maniacal, you know, killer in the U.S. Army. But anyway, I just think he's a cool villain. But yeah, I've been covering the Manson case for a while, and I was not familiar with your work until some of my fans said to me one day, "Oh, Edwin's after you." I was like, "Who is Edwin?" So I made some snarky remarks online. But
brain aneurysm.
Oh yeah, the brain aneurysm. Yes. Well, I think maybe some people were misrepresenting to a degree the intensity of your response to my videos. But yeah, I've seen some of your videos. I haven't seen all of your work on the Manson topic, but yeah, I appreciate you having me on, and I'm happy to be here in the Lion's Den or whatever. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And actually, that's a good place to start. You know, the first impressions and stuff. And anyone just come in, don't worry. We just started. We just did some intros, but. Yeah, so first things first, because you know you first started off by addressing a video, like I guess a live stream on before even seeing it. I thought that was kind of funny, because you were kind of complimenting your own research without knowing what I had said. So yeah, that's some good times. Anyways, within that video, you and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I recall you saying that in the very beginning you were actually leaning against Manson. You were very critical. But like I went back to your first video on Manson, and it was called A Contrarian's Perspective, and it seemed like you were always on his side from the get-go. So can you like elaborate on what you meant by that? Or
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a good question. And to be honest with you, what I'm going to try to do in this, I just want to say quickly, is that I really welcome this because I had decided that I needed, really for my own credibility, to do a series on the weakest parts of Manson's case, and really try to like not give like canned answers, but like really like, you know, okay, to get real, like what do I think? And so I haven't really been able to do that. I put out like one or two sort of along those lines. So I really look at this as an opportunity to, and I'm going to try to be, you know, as like really honest with you here. It was definitely, I think what you're getting at, it was definitely a fast evolution for me, to the extent that when I first heard the allegations, I did think that he was probably guilty for all the obvious reasons. You know, there were a number of women accusing him and his image and all of that. And so I would say that over the course of about a week that I looked into it. And so that first video that you're talking about, that came out, I believe 5 or 6 days after the allegations. Yeah. And so there's definitely a fast, I'll concede there's definitely a fast transition there. But that is the honest answer, is that I really was open to the idea that he was guilty, and even thought that he was, and then just looking into it various things we can talk about or not, I changed my mind. So
Okay.
that's a good question.
Right. Okay. Well, I don't know. It just didn't seem like the strongest point to kind of be like, yo, I was once, but I mean, and also obviously, I do call you propaganda because you only seem to present one side and kind of immediately dismiss everything. And gosh, there's just so much to get into. Let me see. There's something else.
And let me just say that's I think that would be a matter of perspective, in that I feel like I do confront some of the negative things, and we could get into that later if you wanted to, but I definitely have an opinion. And I think that it is an opinion that most people in the media do not have. And so I am at times very aggressive about that, because I feel like and so in that sense, to say propaganda, I think that propaganda can be truthful, right? And so that's what I would say.
Yeah, China would agree. I'm kidding. No, well, okay, truthful, but like, I guess in the sense that like, there's no, well, and obviously we'll get into it naturally. So we'll just get into why, because basically, essentially, guys, I would argue, and correct me if I'm wrong, but my thesis essentially is, why I believe you're propaganda. Which, by the way, you speaking with me, I think that kind of begins to break the barrier. So good on that, right? But like, I believe you're a propaganda channel for Manson, and your kind of main like objective with Manson, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the women are in on a hoax. Is this correct? His accusers?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Can I ask you just quickly, like, I mean, I know that you know what the word propaganda means, but like, what do you mean specifically when you say that? Because it can have kind of a wide connotation. So like, specifically, what do you mean, or what's your critique of me as propaganda?
I mean, obviously, I'm not using it like the most like technical sense of like, I'm using it in like the way that it's like, it's just very, very like one singular natured, and like not really allowing for other things, and often misleading in nature. I do think that you kind of are misleading in some of your presentations. For example, and I want to get this in a little later, but maybe we'll elaborate. But basically, your comparisons with the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case, I think you bring this up quite a bit in your videos. Even as recent as yesterday, I watched your upload from yesterday. You presented that she's, or your collaborator, the YouTuber you're collaborating with, said that Evan Rachel Wood is friends with with Amber, and you kind of stepped in, but you didn't correct her. Instead, you said that you also believe it because of a source. And I disagree with that, because and the reason why I want to say this is because it seems like you're poisoning the well, because yes, even I don't agree with Amber Heard. I'm not for her, but like, to kind of repeat that rhetoric when there's no proof or anything, and it's like you're going out of your way to have a source. I can also say I have a source. I also have a source that has told me that they were never friends, but I'm not going out of my way to say that, because I don't want to burn my source. I don't want to like put him in an awkward spot and everything, and I get it. You're obviously in the same spot. So it's like, why go out of our way to do that? But like, yeah, so that's kind of like the thing as far as that. Like, I think it's misleading to kind of just be like, oh, they're like Amber Heard, Evan Rachel Wood,
So, well, a couple of things there. I mean, I don't know the extent. You're right. I don't know the extent to which of that friendship. The thing that you get into, though, with the source thing, that is a tricky one. I have been critical at times of other people covering the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing, when at times I feel like people have put stuff out there where there's no context given or whatever. Like, oh, I got this random message from someone, and here it is. When I talk about a source, I realize that it's a problem that I can't say this person said this is what I'm talking about, and this person said this, right. But so to an extent, I recognize that people are having to take my word for it, and it's totally legitimate for you to question that. All I can say is that, to my satisfaction, that the person that you're talking about, who said that that Amber and Evan hung out to some significant degree after Amber's divorce, that this person, they proved their credentials or their association to me. But yeah, people are totally free to not accept what I'm saying. And I don't really consider myself, Edwin, a journalist. I do critique the mainstream media a lot, but I am at the end of the day, I am somebody who is just saying what she thinks, and people can take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And so, to an extent, I agree with some of your critiques.
Yeah,
Okay,
and I see, and that's why I did have I didn't want to bring that up, what I was just talking about as far as like the Amber Heard comparison a little later, but let's circle back that, because you asked me about why propaganda. So basically, it's the essentially is like the misleading. They like the kind of randomly compare, you know, poisoning the well in places where it's not necessary. So
if I believe, and I realize that you don't believe the same thing, but if I believe that Evan Rachel Wood is a ringleader of a kind of a Me Too hoax, like would that not be similar then to Amber Heard? I mean, I think you're disagreeing with me that that's what's going on. So I mean, I get that, but like, I actually do think it's kind of similar from my perspective.
Oh no, that's fair. But like, what I guess what I was answering was like, you know, a point as to why I kind of believe that the propaganda aspect, you know, kind of like the factors.
I'm really like trying to really make that association, because I know that it triggers people basically if they to hear Amber Heard. So many people dislike her, basically.
Yeah, and you know, obviously I get it. It is a loaded term. Because you thought I called you biased, and I was like, no, I called you something worse, propaganda. But I also think that everybody has a bias. You know, you could say I'm biased against them, and that I wouldn't mind. I mean, I'm like, I've never said that he is this. Like, I've never said that he is the R word, right? Or I've never said that this and that. Like, I don't speak in like confirms. Whereas, you know, to with you say that the women are liars and they are, you know, in a hoax. So that's very like different kind of language. So that's why it's like it's very one-sided. And, you know, obviously also to some degree, I wouldn't even be mad if like someone were to argue that, oh, Edwin, you're being extra over the top, because yeah, you could argue it's a hyperbolic in a sense, I guess. Like, I'm not being totally technical, but yeah, that's that. Let's see. But before we move on from our first impressions, oh, sorry, yeah, go on.
I was just gonna say, but if I do actually believe, which I do, that's what is going on, that these women are not telling the truth, and some of them may be out of some kind of mental instability, and some of them out of more cold calculating reasons. I mean, that would be something then that actually would be appropriate for me to speak out about. And so I think that there's a kind of I'm not saying you're doing this, but I do see with some people this idea that it's inappropriate to come on really strong against these women. And I understand it makes people queasy, but I really do believe that they're going after a man who, while certainly not perfect or whatever, I do not believe did these things. And as a woman, it kind of disgusts me too, because I don't buy into the whole political ideology around it. Anyway, I don't want to go off on a rant. I'll get back to what you're saying.
No, that's just the last thing I was gonna say, because it's just out of curiosity, because in that specific video you were talking about activists and going against you or something. And obviously I was like one of the talking points of your video, and you put me in the thumbnail. It's like, so would you labeling me an activist? Was that like a first impression? Was I a quote unquote activist?
Oh, would I label you an activist?
Yeah, because it sounded like you had like a negative connotation towards like, these activists are speaking out against me or something.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I actually don't have a problem with what I've seen of your work so far. I think everything that you've asked or you've brought up is fair. So no, I think what I'm talking about more is the people on Twitter, and we're all familiar with that. And I know you get a lot of negativity too. So anyway.
Okay.
And
cool.
Activists too. And are you familiar with like the Michelle Dauber thing, like that? Sort of I'm
not super familiar with that.
Okay. Well, anyway, it has to do with the Depp thing, the Depp situation. But go ahead.
Yeah, and guys, is the audio getting better? I'm sorry, some people were saying that your audio is a little lower, but I'm trying to turn it up as I go too. But
I can.
Yeah, and some people in chat like, okay, I also had kind of a debate with an Amber Heard supporter, and she was like yelling, so like they're already saying, "Oh, this is much better than your last debate." I'm like, yeah, no, cool.
I need to check that out then, because I'm.
Yeah, you do. You should. But I'll send it to you later. Okay, I just turned it up a little bit, so hopefully it's better. But
great. I'll try to speak louder as well.
Yeah. Okay. No, and actually, that was my next point. The whole thing about Amber Heard, and maybe we can compare sources afterwards. Privately, because I get it. You don't want to put people on the spot in public, but because I literally like
and that's not actually a big part of my argument anyway. But
But like that's what I mean. Like it's a subtlety to kind of just like slip it in the whole Amber Heard, because dude, like everybody, like that's the one thing that I feel like, not everybody, but like I would say probably 90% of the population kind of agree that Amber Heard is like, not the best looking. She's not the best representation, and heck, like people will be like, oh, Edwin, you're just you support everything against Marilyn Manson. No, I don't. Like, I would even concede on points against, say, someone like Lindsay Morgan. It's unfortunate. I wouldn't say she's got the best self-representation in regards to Marilyn Manson. And it's like, it's not hard to be objective in these kinds of situations that are, written as they are. And I would like for things to be like, I'm the type of guy that, like, if it were up to me, I would be like, hey, I would shake people like, yo, what are you doing? For example, when Amber Heard went on that interview, like a week after she lost the trial, I was like, what are you doing? She made the joke about a man with scissor hands or fingers. Like, what? Anyways.
Yeah, that was was pretty disastrous.
Okay, and by the way, so if you have questions for me, by the way, you also feel to grill me. I have a ton of notes, but like I don't want it to just be me. If you have things you want to say.
No, I'm asking. I feel like I'm getting some things, and I have a few things, but really, I mean, I'm enjoying answering your questions. So keep going.
Okay, so in the first Manson video that I reviewed, which by the way I specifically chose the same shirt here, Korn, it's purple, but you made the claim that Wes Borland was not around to see anything, and if you quote unquote investigate it, he spoke out against Manson because he was pissed off at him due to Manson not wanting him. Now, Wes Borland was in the band for 9 months, and I investigated him like you suggested, and my findings were different than I guess yours, because it actually seemed like Marilyn Manson was the one that was pissed off. If we're gonna say someone was pissed off, I'd actually say Marilyn Manson was pissed off, and I can read you the quotes here because. And even tell you the dates because it's strange. I mean, I don't know if you can direct me to what findings you had, but Marilyn Manson said he spoke about Wes Borland leaving the band before Wes Borland did, or if I stand corrected, someone can correct me. But this is what I found. Manson said that Wes Borland would rather set his dick on fire than join something that he hated. We almost made the mistake of having Wes Borland play guitar, but he rejoined Limp Bizkit. That move forever eradicated my feelings. Oh, I should use a Marilyn Manson voice. That move forever eradicated my feelings on his choices in life as an artist. Now, I want to emphasize that.
Actually, go ahead.
Manson was the first to speak on the departure of Wes Borland, and this was Wes Borland's response, because he was asked about this in Kerrang! Magazine, I believe. He said, I wrote 9 songs to be submitted to the Manson record, and none of them made it. I was really just like a hired gun there, but was sort of being told that I wasn't. So then when I figured that whole thing out, I knew that I was never going to get an inch into that band. Now, I love Manson. He's definitely one of the wildest personalities I've ever been around, and one of the smartest people I've ever met, but it's the Marilyn Manson show over there. Limp Bizkit is more of a band. So, and then he has another quote from 2016. I think that was that whole thing was from 2009, and then another quote from 2016. But I can read you 2016, and it still doesn't seem like Wes Borland is like the pissy one. So yeah, let's compare some notes.
I mean, that's a good point. That's a legitimate point. And my honest answer would be to say that on that point, I'm probably not going to be able to adjudicate like the ins and the outs of some of these crazy relationships between some of these artists and these guys and these bands. There certainly seems to be a lot of friction at times between the various members, and I guess this is what I would say. This is what I would say about Wes Borland is that I am suspicious of this kind of pile-on that seemed to happen in social media when these allegations came out of people making vague assertions, and to include, for instance, in regard to Evan Rachel Wood, Dan Cleary, who I realized had some more specific things to say about, later women that Manson was with. But what he said about Evan Rachel Wood was, she was under a kind of her aura. She had a dark aura. And so Wes Borland, as I remember, he came out and he said, yeah, everything that all these women are saying is true, basically. But to me, and this is just, again, me, my feeling, my opinion, it didn't have a kind of a ring of authenticity. It seemed like a kind of a bandwagon effect. And I have, again, I have also read things to indicate that there was negativity from West Borland's perspective. But I really don't know, and I just don't think that much of this, if anything, hinges on West Borland's account of it. But it's a fair point. It totally is a fair point. And again, like, it's very difficult to sort of determine or adjudicate like the ins and outs of these crazy relationships at times between these guys. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and I don't want to, like, it just, from what I investigated,
it's a fair point. Yeah.
You suggested that he was pissy, and maybe you were saying that he was pissy based on that soundbite, which was from 2001, 2021, I guess but like you said that he was pissy because he wasn't let into the band, but like if you actually look at the quotes related to the band departure, they don't really seem to back that up. So that's why I mean, also it kind of seems like, certain things in that specific, like the primer best evidence video, like I feel like that could have been left out, because it's like that's what makes it feel like propaganda to me, because you're adding things that are misleading. It's not actually factual, but it's like presented as evidence. So that and yeah, we'll talk about Dan Cleary in a moment, but yeah, so I guess point for Edwin there. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Well, I will give you that it's legitimate. It's a legitimate point to make, and I will say that, again, though, that being what you're getting in that primer is you're getting my attempt to lay out what I believe is the case that I would make for Manson's innocence based on what I believe. Yeah. And so, in the sense that I am not out there trying to basically give a sort of give to the viewers a sort of, well, this side says this, but then this side says this. I do that in my longer videos. The first videos that I made, you talked about the contrarian one that I made. So I did several videos. Several of them were like almost 2 hours. And so, the weakness of that primer video, and unfortunately, like, I did everything I could to try to get past that, where I could add more nuance or whatever, but it was like I already had to speed up my voice on that. It's why it's so fast, Yeah. And I just wanted to keep it under 30 minutes because I knew that, like, I had a brief shot at people. But for sure, the West Borland thing is legitimate critique, and I would say that I don't think that really, because of the vagueness of what he said and the trickiness of some of this relationships between these band guys, I just don't put much weight on it. But yeah, anyway, but
I get it, and I also get, like, you emphasize you're not a journalist and stuff, and I guess the issue with that is, like, a lot of people, because you've made a lot of content on that, and like a lot of people have even commented, Edwin, you better watch her. She knows her stuff. She's very well researched. And even though you emphasize you're not a journalist, like I get that. I get that perspective as well. Like, but like even there were some points in that video alone that you kind of presented certain opinions as fact. So like, I guess it's just a thing to be more aware of going forward. I mean, just a suggestion, of course, not telling you how to run your shit, but like I think this is already a step forward. I'm giving you props for this, like having this conversation, because I'm very critical. But yeah, I guess we could talk a little Dan Cleary here. If you guys don't know, Dan Cleary was the guitar tech for Marilyn Manson, also keyboard tech, I believe. And right now he's working with
and then later personal assistant. But
oh yeah, and even a personal assistant as well, yeah. And right now he's working with Jane's Addiction. So he's been in the industry for like at least around 2 decades or so. I'm not exactly sure, but he was technically like the first person to actually name Evan Rachel Wood as like, who was abused, I believe in November, so like a month before my video back in 2020. And now I did a live stream maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I haven't been able to upload the edited segment, but it was on the LeSeur. And one of my points also for calling you propaganda was because,
I'm sorry, just briefly, because some people might not know. So Lisa was someone who had a sexual romantic relationship with Manson when he was in Florida, and basically right before he hit it big. And so she came on my show and said that basically he wasn't abusive to her, and also made some claims about Jessicka Addams and that little Twiggy thing. But anyway, go ahead. Okay.
So Dan reached out to you, and you've kind of made a lot of really strong assertions even about him in that Innocence video, and even in your video about Rose McGowan, you also made assertions about him, and you kind of just dismissed him, even though he's like a personal someone that's been in the industry and everything. And it's it just, it seems like anybody that, even if it's not a woman, like you just kind of dismiss them. It's no matter how close they are, they're always just gonna be dismissed if they're against Manson. You know, even if they had like a negative. Well, they weren't actually around. How do you know? Do you know something that like the viewer doesn't like? Because obviously we'll get into this as well. Like your mutuals with Marilyn Manson on Instagram and Twitter. So what makes you think that Dan Cleary is not a credible source?
Well, so the problems that I have with Dan, and I just want to say too that, you know, he reached out to me, and it was not, didn't reach out to me to whine or complain or anything like that. To be fair to him, he just reached out to talk. And anyway, we had a cordial conversation. I'm not going to go into the details because I want to protect that. But my problem with Dan Cleary is that he claimed to basically to have had some knowledge about Evan Rachel Wood being abused by Manson. But if you know, and I'm sure you've seen the same podcast I have, if you look at his podcast where he actually talked about that in detail, you find out that he never saw, literally never saw any abuse of Evan Rachel Wood by Manson. And at that point, you know, he was a guitar tech, a keyboard tech, and I've been told by multiple people who were there that there was like basically, you know, limited to no interaction, which Dan Cleary himself, you know, actually concedes.
Right, but I guess
there's that, and then the other thing that you were talking about is later, a number of years later, he was the personal assistant to Manson for some period of time, and a number of months. I don't think more than a year, and during that time, Manson was with the woman who is his wife. And Dan Cleary asserts that he saw emotional abuse, but I do not, you know, the examples, the few examples that he's given, I you know, and we can go into detail or we don't have to, but I don't agree with his interpretation of how he interprets what I think was joking, was Manson's black humor. And Dan even concedes that he did not see Manson committing these kinds of abuses that these women claim. And so that's my issue with him. And I think that it's presumptuous of him. I guess that my irritation with him has come from the fact that I feel like there was a certain taking advantage of the situation to promote his own voice. But I also have to concede that I think that spending a lot of time as he did with these women, who I think probably put on a very good show during the filming of Phoenix Rising and Evan Rachel Wood, maybe his motives, maybe he was acting out of pure motives. Maybe he really believes this.
See,
anyway,
that's what I actually kind of like about your content. You always try to get to the motives, as if there's always an ulterior motive to what people do, which oftentimes there are. I'll give you that. But to say that Dan Cleary, like a guitar tech, he's not one looking for fame. He's never one, as far as I can tell. Like, I guess he's got some podcasts, but like, I wouldn't say that's like his moneymaker. I mean, you know, I mean, I don't know him that much. I only spoke to him briefly, but I just think it's curious because
most people in that industry, I think most people, if we were all honest, I think most of us to some degree are looking for clout or some kind of fame and early and I don't know his motives. No, I don't. I just know that it seems like there was quite an overreach in what he posted online on Twitter about Evan Rachel Wood. And also I think it's strange that he kind of like outed her before she outed herself. Like, I don't really understand that whole scenario, how that happened.
And you know, I don't want to stop you, but like
no, go
you're
ahead.
saying a lot, and I want to kind of give some of the points. I feel like I already forgot the first point, but first of all, because see, this is not even directly related to Dan Cleary, because it's more so about, well, come on, I already gave you a treat. My dog is like,
oh, is there an animal down there?
I gave her so much attention just before the show to make sure that she wouldn't be interrupting. And now she's like,
Edwin,
dog or a cat? Take off your sock.
Is it a dog or a cat?
So, yeah, what was I saying? Okay, yeah, like you basically imply that he might have been doing it for attention of some sort, correct?
I mean, I just don't think that's a stretch or in these cases.
So you're saying that people, and you're asserting that, you know, it's common for people in the industry. Okay, so would it not be fair to say that people in this YouTube industry also do things for clout? What about the argument that you do this for attention and views and hits?
Yeah, people are welcome to think that. I think that if they want to, I think that all. So
you don't object?
I think that all of us who have YouTube channels are doing this for reasons that include a desire to promote truth, but that also are at times narcissistic. Like I just don't think that's like a crazy idea. So I think the better question would be, is your desire to promote yourself on YouTube causing you to be in denial about a truth, or causing you to promote something that you actually don't think is true? And the answer to those things, I believe, is no.
Right, but it's like a lot of things sometimes you say can be bounced just back to you is what I'm saying.
Can be bounced back to me?
Yeah, like the whole looking for clout thing. Like it's like you know, what about you? Are you looking for clout? Like it's so interesting.
Except that I'm not trying to bring down an innocent man, and so that's kind of where everything keeps like stopping.
Well, but it could be easily argued you're trying to bring down innocent women, that like, because you strongly believe that he's innocent, therefore you're attacking them. So you know, the belief may not be the same, but it could be argued in the opposite direction, I guess. So
yeah, and people are welcome to attack me. I actually don't. I think most of the time I'm pretty okay with it, you know. So
I mean, over 60 videos on a singular topic, over 70 videos on Amber Heard, over 60 on Marilyn Manson. Like that's kind of, you know, I mean, come on.
I'm very productive.
But hey, I'm very productive, and that's why also because I feel very strongly about like my thesis here. So
stuff that you make videos about, like I couldn't even what was something you posted the other day, bubbles or something? I'm so out of the loop.
Deaf noodles.
Anyway, deaf noodles. I don't know what is going on.
Well, we can get to that at the end. We'll definitely wrap this up. But that's
sorry,
you know, you'll get the whole chat going because like it would be fun to.
I know nothing about
that
noodles.
for sure. Exactly. I would love to hear someone on the outsider's perspective on this for sure.
All right, we'll save that for the end after we've finished the grill.
But
go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I you know, to kind of just quickly dismiss because of the clout thing is one thing, but also just to clarify for Dan Cleary here, because he didn't see abuse with the women that are accusing him, but that doesn't really like dismiss him, because you know, if you when you hear what the women say, they would say that Manson would kind of change his demeanor when other people are around. So it's not exactly like okay, well, he's dismissed, because it kind of would make sense if we want to take both things into consideration. And also, he did tell me that he actually saw him being like abusive and at times like physical like contact against Lindsay. So
well, I'm kind of in a pickle with that, because he asked me not to disclose what we talked about, and there are things that I could say about that, but I would then be violating the trust that he has in me.
Okay.
So I'll just say that I take issue with that as it's presented, and that also he told me things, and again, it's just my word, but he told me things in the conversation that I think would very much complicate the impression that. But
you do acknowledge that Marilyn Manson called her a trash and a pig, you know, and then he like.
Well, I acknowledge it. I mean, I don't have proof of it. I acknowledge that's
in the
what
Instagram photo
said.
He commented on her. Anyway, this is old. I can't bring up the receipt on screen.
I'm sorry. I was confused. I thought you were saying that. Did he? I mean, the guy has a really like sarcastic black sense of humor. It's not perhaps to everyone's taste, but it's hard for me to disentangle all of that. I know that there's a website.
Well, he called her Amber 2.0 as well. He called her a lot of things.
Yeah,
he said in those text messages that were revealed, like he was basically implying that like he said that she said that she was Amber 2.0 because she was lying about him abusing her, and saying that he hit her. So according to him, she's also a liar. But I guess like, so what do you make of that? That his own wife like is lied about him?
Yeah, so I did a pretty long video about that, and that's just to say that it's something that I acknowledged was a messy issue, and probably something that out of everything, you know, to date that's come out, that I found to be the most problematic. And I feel like that's something that I acknowledged in my video, that however you want to put it, it's not a good look or whatever, problematic, whatever. The opinion, you know, to me, you're getting here at really what to me is the thorniest issue, or the thing that I think is a problem for Manson, is that I think that he's had a number of crazy relationships, just to use kind of that term in a general sense, that he's had a number of crazy relationships, or that his relationships, however healthy may be now, have gone through problematic periods, as everybody who's involved in them has acknowledged. And so an issue that I have is squaring some of that volatility. And I'm not talking about physical violence or anything. I'm just talking about what I have heard as a kind of a mutual volatility at certain times, particularly when substances are involved.
So she deserved it, whatever went on in that fight, right?
No, I don't know what went on with any of that. But I'm saying that he's had a record of volatile relationships, and that the people who were in those relationships acknowledged a kind of a mutual volatility. You know, there's something that I posted on my Twitter this week, and it was a Medium article that was written years ago by a woman who dated Marilyn Manson, and she's not one of the accusers, and she did not accuse him of violence. She accused him of cheating on her and of misrepresenting his feelings for her. But she taught, you know, as she's criticizing him in this article, she also mentions, but he was really understanding at first about my borderline personality disorder. And, you know, what you find is in a lot of these cases, I'm talking about the accusers, you find that I think there are lots of reasons not to believe that we're getting credible claims here.
Yes.
And so what I would say is, my opinion is that if you just ask me what I think that Marilyn Manson and his wife were going through, you know, and I've talked to personal assistants and I've talked to people behind the scenes and whatever. Mm-hmm. And even those people described it as at times it would be a mutually emotionally volatile period. And that's something that I don't think that Dan Cleary himself would even deny. So, but again, Manson is not being accused. He's not been canceled because he was a bad boyfriend or because he went through volatile periods with his wife. He's being accused of really like heinous, terrible things that have not been proven. And one more thing I'm going to say, and then I'll kick it back to you. Sorry, is that if you in those texts where Manson is talking to Depp and is saying this stuff about Lindsay, he says that he's heard that Lindsay is going to file the police report, or that he's been told this or whatever. And you get this, you know, look, the people volatile, they say shit, they threaten shit and whatever. I don't think that that's the same thing. You know, there was never a TRO filed. There was never any attempt to restrain Manson or anything. So, you know,
there was real fear in Manson. That's why he was reaching out and trying to hide away from Lindsay.
I don't know, you know, to me, it actually reads as like somebody who's kind of trying to impress his friend with the fact that he's got like this similar situation.
Well, I agree on that too. Yeah.
So, but yeah, that wasn't the best. That was not the strongest part of Manson's case. And this from the perspective of someone who does believe that Manson is innocent. And it's not this case. What I'll concede to you is that this case is very messy in certain ways, or has a very messy appearance, but that there's so many things to me that are very compelling from Manson's side. You know, you mentioned Rose McGowan earlier, and I'm not going to get into it because I know you have other things to ask me. But I did a video on it. Read that chapter that she was with him for several years. Read that chapter that she wrote about him. Like it really couldn't have been any nicer until they broke up, and she was pissed that he wrote.
You know, people say that you're being paid off by Marilyn Manson. I don't personally believe this, but just in case you are, I don't know if we should bring that up, because she specifically said she doesn't want her book to be used as a defense for Marilyn Manson. She said, Marilyn Manson, don't you dare use that, because
I'm not being paid by Marilyn Manson, so we don't have to worry on that.
But she made a good point. She said, don't use it just because you were good to me doesn't mean you can't be good to other people. And you know, even right after he broke up with her, he started talking shit about her right away, and he didn't stand up for her. And even when she came out about Weinstein, and you know, he didn't support her throughout that, even though she told him about it. You know, she explicitly said before that he knew about Harvey Weinstein, and he never backed her up, and that hurt her. Well,
that's certainly not what he says in the book. She says that that quote
exactly yeah, in private he supported her, but not publicly. I'm saying I agree. So like she was, you know, if you listen to that interview he did with the BBC, I believe that. I'm sorry.
I mean, that doesn't make him an abuser that he
Oh no
didn't
no
come
no no
out.
no.
There were
I'm
lots of
saying,
people
but
that
like,
dropped the ball on that.
yeah, I know. I'm just saying her perspective was like, you're not the saint anymore. Like you were saying, maybe with me, like yeah, her relationship with him I don't even deny it was great, but like afterwards, she's like, doesn't mean that afterwards. But anyways, gosh,
Well,
there's just still so much. And I don't want. Okay. No?
I'm sorry. I just want to say, I just do not accept that someone. It does not make sense to me that someone could be described as a superlative boyfriend for fiance for multiple years, and then be this monster like a couple of years later with Evan Rachel Wood. I guess that it's possible, but it seems highly unlikely, and that's not an argument.
Well, it has been well documented that he, like at the peak of his fame during Holly Weird, I believe. Wait, no, not Holly Weird. Is it
Hollywood or?
Yeah,
I'm
we're
not a
both
fan
like,
either,
okay. I mean, I listen to like Manson's like big hits, not like his album. I don't know.
We probably have listened to about the same, contrary to what
Hollywood?
people think.
What is
the
it,
same
chat?
amount of Manson. Hollywood, I think.
So you were never actually a Manson fan, right? Is that for real? Because that's also a point of contention. People don't believe that you're a fan or not.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Hollywood.
no way
That's
to really
what I thought.
prove that, but there's no way I can prove that. But no, I mean, I knew like 6 songs that I liked, and
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, now, so just to kind of say, like, you know, as he got more popular is when he started becoming more open about his drug habits too. And you know, when he dated Rachel McGowan, he wasn't at the peak, you know. So I do think people could change, but like I said, there's still so many points from like, you know, from earlier, but like because you started bringing up people that you spoke to, personal assistants and everything, you know, and you use these sources to back your points up. However, when I've only cross-examined 2 of your sources, but so far they've both been complete flops. So hey, if you could put in a good word for me, I would love to cross-examine the rest of your sources, because to me, when you bring up a source to back yourself up, and then I come and ask some very basic questions, and they cower in fear and the tail between their legs, I don't think it's a credible source.
Wait, what do you mean they've been flops? What are you talking about?
Well, and I'll get into it. Trust me, I'll get into it in a moment.
Are you talking about personal assistants? Or are you talking about?
Well, no, I haven't talked to the personal assistants yet, but
okay. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I was only talking like Lisa and Leslie, and we'll talk about that shortly. But like basically, what I'm trying to get at is like the whole credible source things, you know, because you were kind of this is telling from the Lindsay, you know, a little bit back, but you were talking about the credibility of certain sources, and yeah, because you know, back to your innocence video, like people will probably use that, be like, oh, this is why I believe it. But in that video, you talk about how Lindsay never said there was abuse, but now all this is coming up, and even you're conceding that they have a very volatile relationship. And the thing is, like, now with these text messages, her credibility is taking a hit for sure. I mean, if Manson's own words said that, like, that needs to be kind of like spoken up from one of them, at least, in my opinion, to kind of like not just, you know, YouTube comments. Well, it's my opinion, sure, that could be a thing, but like, you know, now all of a sudden her credibility isn't as great as supporters might have think, you know, his own wife. So that's what I mean. Like, we can't use, because like, you know,
the court of law is the place that they're adjudicating this. I mean, there are reasons why Lindsay has not done an interview, right?
I'm almost done with my point though, but like,
go ahead.
My point was essentially that, like, in the very beginning you said like Evan Rachel Wood in the past interviews has said that he's great, and you know, and now she's saying something different. Well, Lindsay right now is saying he's great, but in the past she says something different. So it's like, it's kind of the equivocation, like we're not giving the same energy. You know, that was my final point.
Yeah, so it was actually, those texts were kind of a game of telephone, in the sense that Manson was saying, all we have him saying to death is that the equivalent of he's heard that she's saying that she did that. So it's not the same thing.
But he's heard from a very credible source if he's trying to hide away, texting like for 4 nights in a row.
Possibly or possibly not. My impression of a lot of the texts and stuff, and the way that he's with him in depth and stuff, is that actually, I mean, there wasn't often.
So you don't even believe Manson if it's not in his own favor. Like, this is what I mean by the funny, like, dismissal. It's but anyways, okay. I have so much more points. I don't even know if we finished Dan Cleary stuff. Let me quickly look over some notes, because see, like, we've already been on for, well, actually we started a little bit late, so I think it's only been like 50 minutes, but yeah, because we don't want to make this hella long, but I think so far this is going pretty good. How's the chat doing? You guys enjoying this? Because I think we could do like another continuation, another collaboration. What do you think?
So I think you wanted to ask me.
No, trust me, I have so many more notes. I'm saying, like, in the future, because like I don't want to keep this too long, but I have like so
you brought
much.
Up earlier, the Manson Association. So since you brought it up, I was just going to address that real quick. But did you want to say more about that? Yeah, about. Did you want to follow up on that?
Which one? Sorry.
About the idea that my supposed association.
Oh yeah. I'm just trying to make sure I wrap up the Dan Cleary, because like from Dan Cleary so much like spawned, you know. It's like we went through the text messages and like Lindsay and everything. But let me just make sure I kind of wrap up the Dan Cleary, because I would like to kind of, you know, squish things and then move on to the next point. But yeah, because I spoke to Dan Cleary yesterday, and I'm trying to make sure I bring up all his points, because yeah, I mean, he said you guys talked for like an hour or so. So I mean, obviously it makes sense that some of the things should be kept private, but I'm not exactly sure what that would have been. But oh yeah, he did confirm, because I asked him about him declining an interview with you, and I said, you know, is there a like how would you interpret what he said? Because like I'm curious to see, because
how would I interpret what he said about what? About
declining an interview with you. Like what do you think about him? Because I know what you told me about him, and like then I asked him about that, and then he told me something else. So I'm curious to compare notes.
Of what I think about Dan Cleary?
Yeah, you told me he got hoodwinked. I never even heard that impression. Hoodwinked by the women?
So like these are things that, because he's asked me not to say, that I'm limited in what I can specifically say. But let me just say this, that if you were one of the few men in a room full of women who over a significant period of time are filming a documentary, it's documentary scenes for Phoenix Rising, in which they are expected to emote significantly. And I think that it would be very easy to accept uncritically, to accept what you're seeing as valid emotion. And I think particularly that that's something that, you know, maybe men could be more susceptible to. But that, yeah.
That's what I love, like to me what you're describing kind of sounds ironic, because yes, I agree that movie's very biased. I mean, and you know, it is called like Phoenix Rising, so you know coming into it's like all about Evan Rachel Wood.
So you don't think that the documentary was fair, right?
Oh yeah, I think it's very unbalanced, obviously for her favor, yes. But like I think it's funny because, for example, check this out. Ready? Did you reach out to Dan Cleary before any of the content was made about him?
I do not remember. Probably not. I think my first video was a response to, but the thing is that he had done an extensive podcast in which,
I mean, you don't have to. Okay, no, and I have a few more lists of people. Okay, because you mentioned quite a few people. Did you reach out? Because you basically, I want to see if you went out of your way to do corroborations. And I understand you're not a journalist, but I'm basically just trying to illustrate that you are in the same kind of lane as a documentary like Phoenix Rising. You're also in the same lane. Like me, myself, I'm trying to like corroborate. I would love to speak to the people that you interviewed. I would love to compare notes and say, hey, you said this here. Can I grill you on it? You know, because like if there's one thing that we can take from the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial that I think a lot of people love. Even
it contains very little corroboration. For instance, if we're talking about one of the most egregious claims that Evan Rachel Wood made, which is that she was raped on the set of Heart-Shaped Glasses, which I would be amazed if you actually believe that. I did talk to somebody who was on set and who was there in the room.
That person, as far as I can tell, is also a complete super stan. Now, if we take an account that was also on the set, that's completely unbiased, completely.
Well, they've shown proof that they were approached by the makers of Phoenix Rising and also by Illma Gore. So and also by BuzzFeed. So they must have thought that she was
put in a good word for me. I would like to approach him next. I'm not BuzzFeed. I'm not Phoenix Rising, but like another source that's completely unbiased, Stanton LaVey, the grandson of the Satanist guy. He was also there. There's pictures of him with Evan Rachel Wood and Marilyn Manson. Have you seen his statement? He said he was on the set too, and you know he's literally has a picture as well. And he says that they definitely had sex and they were both coked out. So he's kind of corroborating. He doesn't see it as rape, but you know, like that's his thing. But like he corroborates that it was sex and that they were on drugs, which kind of corroborates Evan Rachel Wood. I mean, so like I don't know. I'm curious.
Maybe of the Church of Satan. Well, I mean, I guess that you're familiar with the fact that that Marilyn Manson helped Stanton LaVey's wife escape her situation of domestic violence with Stanton, and so there's kind of
he helped him, so that would make him even more unbiased because like he should be on like pleasant things.
No,
and
I'm saying Manson helped Stanton's wife.
Right. So you're
He was
saying
in a
because he
domestic.
helped the wife of the guy that he might speak ill? Okay, well,
I'm just saying I don't.
well,
find
if you're gonna
Satan
say
LeVay to
that,
be
then the woman that
credible
you
to be
interviewed is literally a super fan of Marilyn Manson. I could say that, you see, so we can dismiss each other's like corroborations or whatever. It's an easy game like that. But like the point is,
super
you're saying someone that
fan.
was there, I'm saying someone that was also there. Boom, easy.
I
Like
just
he said,
yeah,
she
but
said is what I'm trying to get at.
there's been no yeah, but the thing is when someone is making a claim like Evan Rachel Wood, the burden is actually on that person to produce some kind of proof, because in a he said she said situation. I mean, do you believe in like the presumption of innocence or any of that? Because that's part of
Sure,
what
sure.
I've actually
And
been trying to defend.
see, the thing is, like, you're saying that it didn't happen for as a fact. I never once said that it did happen. I'm bringing up sources, and to like, I think the best people would be the workers on the set, because
But
they
I
have
do
no
believe that it
fish in the
didn't.
game
I
for
do
sure.
believe that it didn't happen, and so it would be inaccurate of me to pretend to be neutral on something where.
Well, I'm not pretending to be neutral. I'm just saying that I can't say that it happened or it didn't happen, because no matter what, all I'm saying is people have said that it did. People have said that it didn't. You know, I'm saying, you know, you're saying my source was has a wife that.
But the problem is society has not adjudicated it based on a neutral position. Society has canceled Marilyn Manson. And so if we were just having a kind of an intellectualized theoretical conversation about whether or not, you know, he might have done it, I do believe that he didn't. And I think the preponderance of evidence is against that. But society has canceled him. This man has been ruined.
Okay, so essentially you're. But this is a minor. This is, I mean, not a minor. But this is a big point for Evan. But like, you're saying we should back up Manson because he's being canceled. It's like that's kind of like your underrooted point.
I'm saying no. I'm saying that no real proof has been presented of Manson's guilt, and so I don't understand why he's being canceled based on mere assertions that I think it's very possible, you'd have to admit, could be motivated by things other than the truth. I mean, it's at least possible. Like,
so in that case,
do you concede
it
that
maybe
he could be innocent? Like,
I'm sorry?
Manson, like, you concede then that he could be innocent, right?
Well, I mean, innocent of what? He's got like over a dozen women that have accused him of stuff, right? Like, I think the one thing we could hopefully both agree on that he's not innocent on is being a racist, right? That's an easy allegation. He's definitely a racist.
I mean, I don't know that.
Well, I mean, even those private text, I mean, you could say for a showman he just, you know, promotes Nazism, but like in those text messages, what did he call James Iha, like the guitarist for Smashing Pumpkins? What did he call him? Zipperhead, was it? That's kind of racist.
I know Manson is really into, from everything I've read, is really into his Vietnam references. But I think to throw a term racism around, I think that someone making, when they're angry or when they're in a heated moment, making a comment like that, like, I don't know if you can extrapolate that the guy is racist.
Well, I guess, I mean, I would.
But wait, I'm sorry. I just want to, because I really have, like I said, I really have just answered your questions and stuff, but I just want to be clear. So you do not think that it is possible that these women could all be lying, and that this could be some kind of a hoax, or that Manson could be innocent of the things that he's accused of? Like, you feel sure, as much as someone can be, that he's guilty?
No, I've never said that, actually.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No,
so,
I don't. Well, that, because there's 2 points there. You said you sure that he's guilty, and you said it hoax. So that's 2 different points, I would say. Now, the hoax thing, I think that sounds like some sort of supervillain, like evil Avengers. Like, let's gang up to, like, because here's the thing: when people go through abuse, it is common for them to kind of, like, if they hear about somebody that went through something else, for them to connect. You know, and as far as I can tell, that sounds like what happened. You know, like, you know, how I started doing like the controversy coverage on my channels, like. I went through some personal drama, and like, hey, I heard about like this psycho woman that I was dealing with. Like, she has abused so many other people, like, and narcissistically, like, and like I did reach out to the people that were abused by her, and like, and
you were being abused? Is that what you're saying? I'm sorry.
No, I wasn't abused, but my partner was, and
okay.
You know, she reached out to like other people that, you know, and like to kind of like assume that it's like, oh well. Suddenly, because she literally did try to say similar things. She tried, and you know, like, they were more powerful people. She tried to go the whole cancellation. They're trying to cancel me, blah blah. And it was all a mess. It was much messier. You know, she wishes she could come out now. But anyways, so the point is that I don't believe that, like, they're the women Avengers. No, I don't believe that. But
well, I don't know, when you throw a term like Avengers or superhero villain. I mean, a hoax.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm just, I mean, well, you can make whatever jokes you want. I'm just saying, like, though, to me, it implies, like, to all the hoax implies to me is that there is knowing misrepresentation and collusion. And yeah, I believe that that's what is happening. I believe that at least most of these women know that on some level that they're not telling the truth or they're misrepresenting things. I don't know. Some of them, it might be genuine mental illness. And then there's collusion. And so I understand you're saying it could be a positive thing if they were really victims, that they're working together. And again, if you believe that they were victims, but again, I just, I don't, so.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So yeah, we obviously disagree on that thing. And, by the way, yeah. So I was just looking at my chat, and moderators, don't time out people that are disagreeing with me. Sorry, I got my hair in my mouth, or anything like that, or maybe are fans of Kurtz. Just be light, even if they say kind of sassy things in my direction. That's fine. Let it happen as long as it's like if it's racial things or like really over the line excessive commentary. Don't that you can time out. But like.
Yeah, and I just want to say something too to people, like, Edwin and I, we touched base before this or whatever. We had a bit of a conversation, and I told him that I really welcomed tough questions. So it's not. Yeah. It's fine. All right.
It's okay. It's okay that we have kind of the.
Nothing is going on that wasn't expected.
Exactly. Yeah, the combativeness and of anything. This is as close as Bloodsport is we're gonna get, guys. All right, live for it. All right, don't be complaining.
Well,
I see someone just saying, Edwin, don't be so whatever.
And to my followers,
live for it.
Guys, to my fans and stuff, like this, I did this because I want to be able to say to people, yeah,
it's good.
I came into the lion's den, so it's fine. It really is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I admire that. Like I said in the very beginning, I said that I admire that you were willing to talk to your biggest critic, because I'm just getting started.
Well, I didn't realize that you had been on this for a while. So you started covering this when, I guess when Dan Cleary tweeted about.
So I first posted a video in December of 2020, and I had been working on that video for like 3 months, and then like I was starting to do a follow up in February, but like when everybody came out, and so I do have some knowledge, but then I took like a big internet break and everything. And I've always wanted to come back to the story, but like, stuff kept coming up, and then I got into different stories and stuff, and kind of been neglecting my bigger channel, to be honest. But like, I do want to still return to it in a more proper fashion, and maybe like, in a way, this is the groundwork for when I do make another Marilyn Manson video on the bigger channel. I can kind of refer to clips from here or something, but and not just this video, but other videos. But basically, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Then I started seeing like a bunch of YouTube recommending me like all these pro Manson videos. I'm like, you know what? Let's just do some live streaming about stuff. And I saw, obviously you're like the biggest pro Manson YouTuber I call you, because you've made most content, and even if I disagree with your points.
You did a video a long time ago, like before they came out with the allegations in February 2021.
Yeah,
you had or you hadn't?
Yeah, in 2020.
Oh, okay. So when was your first video in 2020?
December, yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Oh, yeah. One of your interviewees who you took down their video now, Leslie Lane, she came up with a tweet that someone sent me the tweet saying that like apparently she saw a video of me like boasting about me talking to Evan Richard Wood, and like she thinks that like Evan Richard Wood told me to make the video, and I was like, what is this conspiracy now? It's so strange. Like homegirl really went off on me. Like I said, I reached out to her very kindly, and then she was like, Edwin, you've been harassing me, and like you blocked me. I was like, I've never blocked you. Like what? So like when people lie about little things, I'm like, oh, credibility down, so like automatically, like it's hard to believe Leslie Lane when she lied about like me blocking her. She lied about like me having a video that I spoke to Evan Richard Wood. I've never spoken to Evan Richard Wood, for the record, ever, or ever exchanged any messages or anything. I've sent her messages, but she didn't. I don't even see the scene thing on Instagram. So,
where did you get the? Some people have been asking me to ask you, where did you get the redacted or the unredacted like police report?
Oh, I was just looking at the person behind you, and you had said earlier you might have to move. Is that gonna be right now?
Yeah. No, they can't. Yeah, they can't hear you.
Is that okay?
I'm gonna go in a minute. We're good. Yeah, we're good.
So okay, yeah. So in that video that I did on Leslie Lane, I should have received, for people that maybe not seen it or just so they know for context, because Leslie Lane was trying to claim that there was never a police report filed on her, when essentially she was saying that Okay, because Leslie Lane was kind of threatening to release pictures of Evan Rachel Wood that could ruin her career, and you know all these like screenshots from Discord were leaked from Leslie, like saying all this stuff, and she was like, Lindsay told me to release him and all this stuff, right? So Illma, Gore, and Evan Rachel Wood.
Which was a misrepresentation.
What's that?
Which was a misrepresentation, I believe. There's
what was?
Well, the you know the media story, if I'm understanding what you're referring to, the media story that came out of that was that Manson's wife, Lindsay, had wanted those pictures from Leslie because she wanted to, you know, quote, get Evan or.
Well,
or
I wouldn't say that's a media. I would say that's a Leslie Lane story because that's what the text messages, the Discord messages say. Like she's saying,
right.
"Hey guys, I don't know what to do."
That's
like,
not what happened.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Obviously, you speak to Lindsay, so you can say that Leslie was wrong in that, right? And I believe that. I believe that Leslie's not a credible source, so I'll believe you. I'll believe you over Leslie any day.
That's also I mean that's also Leslie's representation of it. I think that Leslie. The thing is that I think Leslie is the first one to admit that she's been an uneven witness or representative at times for the Manson case, but also the thing I give her credit for is that she was willing to go on my show and I do believe tell the truth about, and she has been extremely consistent about the fact that she did not see any violence from Manson.
Sure.
And so what I would say about Leslie is that it is unfortunate. It's unfortunate that she's got some stuff in her past that she was not forthcoming about.
Right.
And although I understand, you know, why. And it's unfortunate as well that.
But
yes, go ahead.
And it's the thing. Like it's like, you know, I feel like a lot of times you pick and choose because it's unfortunate she has things in her past. Why is it unfortunate? Because it doesn't look good for her credibility. But when the people that you want to take down, like the accusers, have things in their past, oh my God, hell yeah, let's use that. Oh, what's going on? We don't really. It's not really unfortunate. In fact, it's actually fortunate. It's fortunate that Evan might have said something positive about Manson in the past, and now we can use that against her. You know what I mean? But with Leslie, it's unfortunate. Why? Leslie is cuckoo.
Well, everybody in this story, from all directions and all sides, is deeply complicated, and it is the nature. Unfortunately, it is the nature of the Marilyn Manson circus or whatever that you're really not gonna find hardly anybody. But I have interviewed some people. Let me just say this: I did find Leslie credible. I did believe what she said. I took the interviews down at her request because things were getting uncomfortable for her. I'm not accusing you of anything, right? But I will say that I have interviewed a number of people like Paula, Manson's longtime assistant, Paula Weiss, the model Paula Weiss, his ex-girlfriend, and there are a number of credible women, including I believe Rose McGowan, and a number of them who dated Manson or who were with him for years, like Paula, you know, interacting with him, Evan Rachel Wood, who are very down to earth and very sensible people and have consistently said that he was not abusive.
Now, would you agree that they'd be more credible if they agreed to be cross-examined by your boy over here? Like if I talked to Paula, like if they did interviews on my channel, you know, being a little bit more, like I will be very respectful. The only reason why, you know, obviously I have a negative attitude towards Leslie is because she's making up rumors about me and lying on me about the most random things. Like, why lie that I blocked you? That's so random, you know. And like if I was nice to not show the DM. She was like going off on me over random stuff. Like this woman, like delusional, guys. Like Leslie, if you want to challenge, I'll gladly release the DMs to show everybody just how like cuckoo you really sound. And I think you're being very generous towards her because she was talking bad about you as well. But you know, we'll just zip it right there.
Well, you know, again, there's lots of things that sort of come into the mix with my view of Leslie. But what it boils down to is I did get the sense that she was being truthful in that interview. And that interview, you know, that was hard for her to do because she knew how she would be perceived. Right.
No, and I understand. You think
one
she's
more
truthful.
thing. I'm sorry. Just one more little thing too. You talked about some of the other people I've interviewed that I think are highly credible and have conducted themselves with a lot of decorum, for lack of a better word. There are, as you know, there's a lot of legal wheels in motion now, and I don't think that anyone's going to be doing any interviews with anybody from here on out, including me, because this has moved into the very complicated.
Oh well, that's convenient. Now they're credible when they talk to you, but they don't want to talk to me.
It's true. It's true. Well,
so
and also
hold
true.
on. Okay, but just to wrap it up, because again, this started from you asking me about the note, and I was just giving context, and then we went off.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
It's easy to get carried away.
Go ahead.
But basically, Leslie Lane started making up rumors, not just about me, but she was making up rumors that the police report wasn't actually filed against her, which it was. It's just like. And even the text that she shows from Illma Gore Center, which was like, Illma Gore acknowledged that like internet harassment doesn't go anywhere. She's like, but we filed it anyway. But like, it's good to have proof, I guess, better than nothing. But like the proof that Leslie Lane showed that no police report was filed was she went to the LA courts like website. She's like, oh look, this is, dude, when you file a police report, it's not gonna show on the court's website. But anyways, you were asking how I got the receipt. That was from Illma Gore herself. I talked to her once back in January of 2022. I had reached out to her, and she said, and we talked only once. I reached out to her again after she was sued. I was like, holy shit, girl, listen, I understand if you can't talk, what's up? And she hasn't even opened my message, but yeah, I only talked to her once. And
I had no problem with that, honestly. And the only reason I ask is just because that's something that came up with several people wanted me to ask you. But
that's a good question.
I feel like what we're doing,
if you have questions for me, I'd love to be grilled, but and if you don't have it, like I'm being a little conscious of the time because I still have so much I want to say, but like it's now we're definitely over the hour mark. Oh.
Well, I'm gonna have to actually. I tell you what, I will come back. I'm gonna have to change locations, but if you want to continue this, we could go a bit longer. Or what do you normally? I know you do like the marathon 5-hour streams.
Don't worry, we're not gonna go 5 hours. I feel like
No.
2 hours.
Okay.
We can cap it at 2 hours. So like we started at like 2:10. We could cap it at like 4:10 max, but like I don't even know if we have to go that long. But like I think it's going pretty good so far. How's chat feeling? Is this going good?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. Are you talking to me or the chat?
Oh, the chat. But like, do you mean you have to like disconnect for a little bit and come back?
Yeah.
Or?
So if you just wanna keep this open, and I'll be back.
Yeah. I'll keep it open. I guess if you join through the same link.
Yeah. I'll be back in like 5. So everybody, I will see you in a bit.
Okay. Cool.
Right, I'm gonna disconnect.
5 minute little break. This is good.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
All right. I guess we'll see you in a bit. Cool. Oh
I'm
man.
assigning you.
Okay. Oop. Whoa. Guys, my lips are a little dry. I will say I'm a little nervous. I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous and just a little tense because obviously it's like I don't often do these kinds of debates / I guess it's a debate, right? But I do need to get some water. So BRB, I'm gonna play some little copyright free. Hopefully it's copyright free, man. Sometimes you can't trust these channels when you play copyright free music. But I hope you guys are enjoying. I'm trying to get to all the hard-hitting questions, and like we tend to get derailed a lot, and it's not a bad thing though. I think the conversation is pretty good. So let's see. Okay, hopefully the lo-fi hip-hop beats 24/7 radio doesn't copyright claim this. A little loud. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna serve myself some water because your boy is ready. You guys thought that was heated. Just wait till round 2. That was round 1. Who won? Who won round 1? All right, who won round 1, guys? I'm here now. Okay. I expected a blood sports. I put blood sports question mark on the thumbnail. Now, the thing like I disagree with is her saying that like, she's got credible people that she interviewed. But conveniently enough, they can't be cross-examined. Like what? Like doesn't it make sense? Like how can we take the people that she interviews at their word but you can't take the people that she's combating at their word, which is fine. Like, I you shouldn't take people just at their word, but like, why can't I cross-examine her interviewees? Don't you guys think? No, guys, it's not over, guys. It's not over. She's I think she's at a university right now. So she's going through to like a different computer room or something. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, so I think like a class is going to that room where she's in. But I actually want to say thank you to everybody that's here. Yeah, everybody grab a drink, seriously. I'm trying to read chat right now because, you know, when she gets back, I've not been reading the chat because I want to focus on what's going on. And, you know, I want to make sure that this is all focused on what me and her are having a conversation, which I think is going pretty damn well. And yeah, let me see. I'm trying to read chat. Yeah, cool. It seems like everybody was enjoying and like getting heated. And yeah, I just want to say, you know, I don't know how many mods I have in here. I like to keep it kind of low, but you know, allow freedom. I'm sorry if there's Kurtz fans that if you got timed out, don't worry, it's all good. Ezra, what's up, Ezra? Ezra says, Edwin, don't take it the bad way, but you were very, very disrespectful most of the time. I mean, this is called. She agreed to it, and she wanted it. I can show you a DM. She said, "Bring on the heat." I said, "Okay, I'll bring on the heat." She wanted it. Out of context, that sounds bad. She doesn't fully answer your questions. Well, her answers kind of turn into different points, and I'm like, oh my god, and I want to say something about this. It's like, it's kind of hard. I have to feel like I take mental points, you know, mental notes, I guess. Arts by Sakura says, Ezra, have you not met Alabama Edwin? Oh my god, Arts by Sakura, you must. I mean, I don't blame you, but I did an 8-hour stream. The first time I was checking out Kurtz's channel, like the first, like about 5 hours was me reviewing her video, and then after that I was just like chilling with chat. And for about 20 to 30 minutes, Ezra actually called into the show, and it was quite hilarious. I might end up clipping it, but I don't want her to get like insulted by my chatter, so I'm really on the fence. But she sounded like she was on sleeping pills, a little loopy. Maybe we can have her on the show again sometime, Ezra. What do you say? You want to call back in? You need to let her finish. But Rosalind, I'm not trying to interrupt her, but like, you know, she kind of goes off on tangents that when I already need to, I have like a point, and I have so many notes, and like we planned for this to only be around 90 minutes, and it's like, you know, to be tight on time, there's like a lot of pressure that I want to say so much. Trust me, I want to say so much. Take off my glasses. Okay, there. I don't think I look like Johnny Depp though. I think that's a little bit. oh, maybe if I look like Johnny Depp, then she'll be like, oh, okay, I agree with you. No, I'm kidding. But yeah. Yeah, you know, it's not on purpose or anything. I'm trying to be conscious of time, and I'm not trying. I don't think. I mean, like, I guess I can try if I'm. Okay? Should I do a poll? Am I interrupting her? If that's actually a concern, I guess I'll try to work on it. But like, I feel like, you know, I think it's going okay. I think it's going how a debate should be. No, I don't know. I don't really want to create a poll over this. I think it's kind of minuscule. She is their interrupter. I mean, if we interrupt each other, I don't personally think there's any tension. Like, I mean, there's like regular tension. I think it's doing fine. The Manson case is I'm doing fine. Okay, cool. You didn't know it was a debate? Well, what do you think blood sports means in the thumbnail? I'm kidding. No, blood sports is like debate, but more intense. No, I mean, it's meant to be confrontational for sure. And you know, she wanted me to go hard. And look, she's very friendly. She's very easy to get along with, which is part of her appeal. If you go to her videos, you know, it's kind of like she's good at talking. That's I'll give her that, and she's friendly. So, but I have a lot of points to make. Your boy has to get through it. Coco through 5. Thank you for super chat. You say, Edwin, this is so good. You're doing great. Are you gonna into Lisa and how she's dragging Jessicka in that interview? He's not being disrespectful, by the way. Oh, girl, you know, that's like my big weapon. Not weapon, but like, I have a lot to say about that. And that's the thing too, like, I guess, I don't know if it's worth bringing up again, that I think it's kind of lame. I mean, I'm still going to reach out to the people that she's interviewed, but like, if they don't want to be interviewed, I don't think that makes them the best interviewees all of a sudden, you know? It just doesn't make sense, you know? because here's the thing. Here's what I'll say. Like I mentioned earlier in the show, like, well, never mind. I won't mention it. I'll wait till she brings it up. If she brings it up, see if I bring other super chats. Oh, it's nice to have water again, man. My mouth was getting so dry. Tor says, "You got this, Edwin. Thank you. Appreciate that." Carla Cocaro from Brazil says, "Hey Edwin, your chat wants you to box me." Girl, why would I box you? No, never. I appreciate you checking out my stream, even though you're a Deaf Noodles fan. For real. I'm serious. I appreciate people that are open-minded to listen to the other perspective. We should not be in an echo chamber. And I think that's kind of what she is. You know, I mean, like the propaganda word has terrible connotations. So yeah, you see that, you know. Let's see. Tismy Chicken says, through super chat, says, "What about the forged FBI letter and Illma Gore's twin sister calling her out?" So I don't really care too much to go into the legal stuff because to be honest, I'm not keeping up with that as much. I have like a lot on my plate. If you go through my channel, you'll see that I'm covering like 3 major topics. That is Mama Max, Deaf Noodles, and little side videos that are just like clips. Oh, whoa, new room.
All right.
Shoot. Yeah, if you work with the window, I don't know if you can turn it. The lights, yeah. But basically, oh shoot. Okay, let me just quickly answer this. And Marilyn Manson, Mama Max, and Deaf Noodles. So like, I don't really have time to like keep up with as close to the legal stuff. But yeah, look.
Is that better?
Yeah, I know. Just quickly answering the FBI letter. Obviously, that looks sketch. I can concede on that. And Illma Gore's twin sister calling her out. I think the family matter thing is very, very weird in itself, though, because it's like you're working with Manson to own your sister. Obviously, that feels kind of vengeful, but I don't know. I'm not very versed in that, but obviously,
yeah, I think we're on the same page actually on that. That's the thing. I'm glad somebody brought it up because oh, hold on a second. It's asking me if I want to reclaim host. I'll just leave it with you.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. That was perfect.
So
time.
yeah,
I just wanted to
so
get
I'm
some more
glad
water.
that somebody brought up the FBI letter. So I guess, you know, you said it was sketchy. So I guess my question would be, you know, if someone went to that length to fabricate an FBI letter to use in a, you know, in their custody case with their you know, ex, I mean, don't you think that says a lot about that person's credibility? Or do you think that's not something we could generalize about?
I mean, I see, because I'm not super versed into it, because like I said, but I feel like you're keeping up with it, right? Closely, the legal stuff.
Yeah, closely enough. It seems
Okay,
like
'cause I
every day
also
there's
saw-
an avalanche of stuff.
I believe, and again, I'm not keeping up close, but I believe I saw something like an FBI officer like corroborating it. So like, it's hard to tell, like or corroborating her that there was an FBI case or something. So I don't know, like.
Yes, that's right. I mean, I think we can assume that at this point that multiple agencies have looked into Marilyn Manson with the kind of loud drumbeat that Evan Rachel Wood has maintained on Instagram and elsewhere. But I mean, they fabricated a letter. They fabricated an FBI letter to use, and again to use in their custody case. So
from my understanding, there was actually like an investigation during that time, and they were in contact with an officer, but they used somebody like a fake name or somebody else's name. Is that accurate?
Yeah, and they faked a letter. I mean, they wrote a fake letter.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not. If it's something, it may be something that you'd shrug off. But
and again, like, I'm asking because I didn't look as closely. So like, guys, like, you know, do your own research on this, because I'm not, you know, this is how I don't know as much. But basically, what I would say about that is like, in the worst case scenario, that is like factual, because I prefer to like wait for like the legal stuff, like unless I was keeping it super closely, like, then I would have a better opinion. But like for that, it's like, okay, worst case scenario, like, I don't know if it was put like from Illma's idea or what, because obviously she was checking, okay, does this look good, right? Like, I don't know what to make of it, but it obviously is sketch. However, I don't know if that's like the gotcha that Manson thinks it is, because first of all, that was kind of like low key, and he wasn't named. Obviously, he's being inferred, but like, it's not like that. I don't know if that's supposed to be backing him up for having emotional distress or whatever, or like, what's that supposed to be backing up?
I think it just is a significant blow to her credibility. I mean, faking an FBI letter, it's not something that normal people do. And if she does end up pushing it off on Illma, then that, because Illma has been so integrally involved in this whole thing, then to me that kind of poisons the well as well. I just wanted to ask one other thing that I was thinking about as I was walking over here. So aside from the fact that you are not going to be able to interview these people, I guess, but you've seen the interviews that I've done with a number of these women. And so what do you make of the multiple women who have lived with him, some in romantic relationships, others not, who say that these abuse allegations, they don't recognize them, they're not true? I mean, do you think that they're on his payroll, or do you think that he's just a monster with some people and with others he's not? Or how do you account for that?
When I want to focus on a project, I want to make sure I give it my full attention, And since I've only consumed bits and pieces of the ones that I've not dissected. So I've dissected Leslie Lane and Lisa LeSeur. The other ones I've skimmed through bits and pieces. Like earlier last night, I was watching some of, I think it was not the personal assistant. Was that Vanessa or Paula?
Paula, yeah. Vanessa was the one who was on the set of Heart-Shaped Glasses.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I watched some of that interview because I believe that was your second interview from Manson ever on the channel, which was just in March or so. And yeah. I was mostly just interview. Watching it, or like
from my perspective, because I was terrible. I was just saying that I was laughing because looking back on it now, a lot of people on the comments were like, "You interrupted her too much." It was a pretty terrible interview from my perspective, but she did a great job, and I thought she was compelling. But what did you think of that? You watched that? You said?
Well, I didn't have the time as preparing, but I only watched like around the first 10 minutes because I was trying to look for the part, because in March, about 2 months into having your YouTube channel, it's a pretty big deal to have someone so close to Manson on your channel. So, and I was kind of trying to find.
Why that is because no one else in the media wanted to talk to her. In fact, several of those women were very open to, and I know, like in the case, for instance, of at least one of them had actually approached the media and tabloid somebody, not to sell a story, but to try to get the truth out there, and they were told no. And so, actually, when you see people on my channel, it's not because I have some kind of special influence or access or whatever. It's because it's sad to say, but I was the best option. At that time because
I guess
almost
more
nobody
specifically,
was
did she reach out to you or did you reach out to her? How does this work for your interviews?
It's a mixture of things, of approaches. And so sometimes people will approach me and say, "Hey, I was so-and-so, or this is how I'm connected to Manson, or I had this experience," and we just start chatting. In Paula's case, I'm trying to remember. I think she had contacted me and we were just chatting, and then it evolved out of that she, because everybody that I talk to, I ask them if they'll do an interview, right? And so it evolved out of that at first she was kind of reluctant, and then I think she was just very frustrated, and it's the case with a number of these women. Very frustrated that they don't see the man that they know represented in these media reports and in these allegations, and the media are not interested in these perspectives, or have not been up until recently. I was hoping with the Amber Heard stuff that it might, impressions might change.
I relate to the frustration because I can't talk to them. But
yeah,
okay, but honestly, like, where did you? I mean, you're making this like a blanket statement, like I can't talk to any of them. Like, where is that?
I'm not the arbiter.
So who is? That's what I was gonna ask.
Well, I would imagine the women themselves are.
But they all told you. Is there a group chat? Did they all tell you, "Hey, don't let us talk to that"?
No, you're the one who's telling me they won't talk to you. So you approached them.
No, I only spoke to 2 women.
Why are you saying they won't talk to you?
No. I asked you, can you put in a good word for Paula or Paula and Vanessa? And like, I want to talk to the rest of them too.
Okay. Well, I can put in a word.
Okay. I thought earlier you were saying that like none of your interviewees going forward wanted to speak with me. That's not a thing?
No, I haven't talked to anybody about.
Oh, okay. Good. Yeah. Then I'm glad that cleared up because that was my misunderstanding then.
Yeah, no.
Okay, great.
I gave that impression. No,
because
essentially you were saying that no one would talk to you, and so I didn't.
No. Well, okay. Yeah, just the 2, but
okay.
Because I feel like it would give them more credibility if they got the cross-examination here. So
if they had the joy of this experience.
No, I wouldn't go hard like this. Look, and I was just telling chat, this was planned like this. No, don't worry.
Yeah. No, it was.
No, I'll be nice to them as long as like there's no disrespect or anything like Leslie took it to another level. And
well, I mean, I can't speak to that because I wasn't privy to your conversations, and so
I can show on a screen.
Well, I don't think.
No, I don't want to make that too much about her, but let's see.
I appreciate your restraint on that, but again, like what I'm always going to say about Leslie is that she has been the earliest. She was basically first on this defending Manson.
Yeah, because she's a super fan. You don't deny that. You've seen her Instagram. Kurtz, you have to concede on this one. Come on. You're so harsh on the accusers. You can't even say this. You've seen her Instagram. You've seen her YouTube channel for years. For years she's been
activist. You wrote the term activist.
Activist, bro, dude. She's just this is why I call you propaganda. You can't even concede to this.
Who else was speaking for him? Seriously though, this is the problem.
I'm gonna go to her YouTube channel right now on the live stream. Everybody else can see exactly what I mean. Super fan for years, over a decade, guys. Let me show you her YouTube channel. It's freaking like hidden videos from Marilyn Manson that nobody knew existed. Let me show this on screen, guys, because I'm sorry, you have to concede on this, guys. This is Leslie Lane's YouTube channel. Look, Marilyn Manson a year ago. Look at all these videos. This is her channel, YouTube channel, 2 years ago. All these videos. You can't tell me this is not a super fan. Look, these vintage videos, bro. I'm sorry, chat. Like, no, this.
The problem is that as soon as these allegations hit, that everybody in the media and everybody mainstream they chose sides, and so there was nobody to defend him initially other than me, and then some super fans, as you put it. So I appreciate that she was out there trying to get the truth as she believed it, which I believe out there, and she has always been consistent about the fact that she never saw violence.
She's got recordings from like back in the 90s and all that. If somebody wants to call me a super fan, I've been a fan of Korn since I was 13. Something happens to Korn and I start defending them, they can call me a super fan all they want. That's not even a bad thing. But I'm just saying, it's not even about like, it's just about equivocating the energy. You can confidently call the women liars. Why can't we just concede that Leslie was a super fan? If we can't, that's fine. I don't want to press too much because I have so much more to say. But yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, you wanted me to concede that Leslie's a
super fan? You don't have to.
No, I don't use the term super fan to refer to anybody, but I'll concede the term.
Okay,
if you want super fan.
Groupie. That's more of our boomer, right?
Yeah, but I also found the story that she told me.
She followed Marilyn Manson on tour. That's what she said in your interview. She followed him on tour. That's what she said. She sold her house to follow Marilyn Manson on tour. That's a groupie.
Well, so are all these women. A number of these women accusing him.
You're changing it to the women. I don't want to talk about women. I want to talk about one. But you know what? Fine.
Well, I've already said what I have to say about Leslie.
Okay. All right. We're not okay. No problem. Next up. The other interview that I dissected, and this is actually a very heavy point. And if we have time a little bit after this, we'll get into some subscriber questions that I took down. Actually, no. You know what? Before we get into the other interview that I dissected, I do want to ask you about your connections to both Lindsay and Marilyn Manson, because you're obviously mutuals on Instagram and on Twitter as well with Marilyn Manson. So when did that happen? When did he follow you back on social media?
I think it was a few months ago. It was
a few months ago. Really?
Yeah. It was a long time after I started making videos. So
well, wait. So just recently, like as in like June-ish or so, like in summer?
That he started following me? It was when my interview with Vanessa came out. So I think that was, several months ago. So the progression, the timeline with things, first of all, I've never spoken to Manson.
What? Ever?
No, I haven't.
So
people don't believe that, but yeah.
So you show me like, off the record, not live or anything, but like your DM history is completely blank with him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, and I'm gonna say this because my immediate reaction would be...
Well, I was just going to say, though, but I've been very open about the fact that I get DMs, that I get messages from Lindsay. And I also, everybody knows that, like, when they went on the honeymoon or whatever, the belated honeymoon to Berlin, that, she...
Well, and I want to talk more about Lindsay, but before we move on to her...
I'm just being open.
Yeah, good. Because I have a lot to say about Lindsay as well, but... Because she blocked me way early on. Like in 2020, before I even spoke her name. So it's kind of weird. Like she it's kind of like, I just wanted to ask questions. I sent her a message. I said, hey, I'm making a video on Marilyn Manson.
Why do you think she blocked you?
What's that?
Why do you think she blocked you? Had you made a video yet? I
don't remember if she blocked me because I didn't check her profile. I don't know if she blocked me before or after my video, but I did reach out before my video. I said, hey, if there's anything like, would you say blah blah? Could probably check the message, but basically, there was a point where I just posted a story because I was getting like some Marilyn Manson haters on my Instagram, like, you know, tagging me, and I was very confused when I saw one that like photoshopped my face into like a McDonald's like chubby, I don't know, weird thing, Ronald McDonald something, and I was like, okay, so you know, I don't really care for that. Like, I get it, you know, Manson fans are mad that I made my video, which my video wasn't like, again, my video from 2020 was not saying Manson bad, whatever. I was like saying, bro, like, I was making the connections that it sounds like Evan's talking about you kind of thing. And I thought it was weird that she followed this hater account. So like I made a story saying, okay, like, you know, I don't care so much about this like cringe Photoshop, but why does Lindsay follow like Marilyn Manson supporters that are like haters like this? This is kind of sus, you know. So I found that sus. And you know, that's another correlation that I've seen, that Lindsay seems to follow all these accounts and kind of connect with fans, but she refuses to kind of, you know, go towards the critical people. Like immediately off the bat, like I never said anything.
But why is it incumbent on her to do that? I mean, she and her.
No, it's not. But she blocked me off the bat, and I never
you know?
insulted her or anything ever.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there was some reason. You're not suggesting that she just randomly blocked you, right?
I mean, maybe you could ask her, because she did. I think so. In 2020, I had never said anything.
You seem very focused on like whether or not people are like paying enough attention or to you or blocking you or not blocking. I mean, I don't know. To me, like the situation that I feel like she and Manson are under siege, and so I think there have been rumblings, you know, for a while that this was coming even before the allegations came. And so you know, maybe she got some inkling or hint of the fact that you were wanting to talk about this and she didn't want to. I don't blame her for not wanting to engage. And I think that, look, this is such a volatile period right now. People get fired for expressing, you know, wrong positions online and stuff like that. Like if I had a job right now, you know, honestly, I teach occasionally part-time. It's in different schools, but if I had a real job, I wouldn't be doing this. And so yeah, I understand why people might not want to come on this show or might not want to engage, but I don't think that means anything about guilt or innocence, right?
And again, just to be clear, like at this point in 2020, I believe it was January 2020, I had just pointed out that I thought it was strange. I didn't even tag her. I never tagged her or anything. I just posted an Instagram story saying, I think it's strange that, so I guess if I saw that she was following this hater account, maybe she hadn't blocked me. Maybe it happened after I pointed out that, why does Lindsay follow this person that, like, you know, is photoshopping things? But yeah, no, I agree. She doesn't have to, like, you know, not block me, but I had not said anything inflammatory. And, you know, maybe you could ask her what he said. No, I'm kidding. No, but yeah, because if I'm proven otherwise, then fuck, I'll take the L right away. But I swear to you, I never said anything at that point, at least. But anyways, so, but I guess just the main one with Marilyn Manson, like, he followed you, and my initial reaction is because when you responded to my live stream before watching it, you seemingly got offended without having seen it yet, but you said, are you just dismissing my research, right? Now, even though you're not a journalist or you're just a YouTuber with an opinion, you still take pride in your research. However, I would argue that if you don't even have a singular exchange with the biggest focus of the story, that's not like, how can you not talk to Marilyn Manson if he's obviously interested in following your work for 2 accounts? Why haven't you messaged him?
Well, I would certainly talk to Marilyn Manson if he wanted to, but I have.
But you don't want to?
But I have no hope that he would talk to me, and so to me, it would make me look ridiculous to ask for that. You think Marilyn Manson is going to give me an interview? About me?
No. Yeah, I'm just toying around. Like, I was putting on the goofy, but
but I will say this. though. Like what I said about you, I was just joking around. I mean, I also said
I get that. I'm not offended. Yeah, either. Yeah, that's playful. Just like I was playful about, like, oh, you can ask her. Yeah, don't literally ask her, Lindsay. I mean, what if she wants? I'm sure. Honestly, I kind of believe that she might be watching, but that's just my personal belief. You know, I have my own reasons. But anyways, but what I will say is just to go back to that Marilyn Manson, like, why aren't you interested in speaking, like reaching out to him? Because like I said, I've reached out to Evan Rachel Wood, and she didn't respond, but she never
you,
followed me. If she did, I think even more reason.
I don't know why you'd say I'm not interested in talking to him. My opinion is that he's very well aware of the fact the guy is not an idiot. So he's very well aware of the fact that it would be a tremendous boost to my channel if he came on the channel, and that I would, of course, have interest in talking to him. But again, I'm not a journalist, and so I have no interest in making myself look like a jackass by, begging for an interview or asking to talk to him. And so
no, and I'm not even talking about begging for an interview. Just as far as like exchanging a message, really, just like, hey.
What would I say? What do you think I should say?
So for example, like, I support you. Like, hey, I'm sorry.
I'm sure he
you're
knows
obviously
that.
very. What's that?
I'm sure he knows that. He watches my videos.
Oh, okay. So, well, I guess I just find it, shocking that, like, being so supportive, you don't really care to like see what he thinks, because I think it'd be very interesting off the record have a conversation. Like, I always invite people, even the women that I've reached out to, the two women I've always offered, it can be off the record. I just want to learn. I've talked to plenty of people surrounding the story that are completely off the record, that like, I won't talk about them or everything. And Marilyn Manson would be a huge get. I reached out to Marilyn Manson. He aired me, but like that was also before my video.
Did you reach out to me? Did you reach out to me? I don't think so. So I reached out to you. Sometimes
no,
it just kind of works out that way.
Well, yeah, sure, and that's a fair point. However, the reason, okay, and here's the thing: on this channel specifically, I call it Homeboy Edwin.
And
this
I don't
is like
care if you reached out to me. I mean, that's the thing.
No, I know. It's a fair point though. It's a good point. I know you're being sad. Like you play into this aspect, but like it's fair. But like this is like a Homeboy Edwin. This is like laid back. Like this is meant to be like chill. I just do live streams to kind of like react and stuff. But if I was working on the Edwin's Generation channel, that's where I like, make dedicated videos where I am trying to present a powerful point, powerful case. Right here, typically I'm just reacting. And, I guess I was kind of just reacting to your video. And maybe eventually I would have reached out to you if I want to make some more serious. But we're in touch now. That's all that matters. But no, but you're not like
that, though. If he wanted to get, I know that if he wanted to get in touch with me, he would. So it just seems like redundant. I don't know.
Okay, fair, I guess. Yeah.
And also, I mean, obviously, I think there's something a bit, I think that it's also healthy to maintain, to some degree. I think it's healthy for me to maintain a kind of a distance in a way, because I actually do want to be unbiased. And somebody asked me, one of your followers asked me on Twitter, would there be any point at which I could be confronted with enough evidence to change my opinion? And I would definitely like to think so, but I just haven't seen anything. I see.
You can't go from I'm no journalist, I don't care for biases, to I want to be unbiased. You don't. I mean, look, I want to be
fair. I want to be fair.
Okay. So you want to be fair? Well, then that's why I'm suggesting you maybe, be more open-minded to if the women are liars, then Leslie Lane is a super fan at the very groupie. Okay, something that would be fair. Let's give that same energy. All I'm saying is give the same energy. If we're gonna be critical, say the women are bitch liars, part of a hoax. Well, some of the people you're interviewing are super fans. Like, okay, you know what? Let's move on to Lisa LeSeur, also a super fan. Was she actually a girlfriend? Maybe, but was she a girlfriend and a side piece? Do you know if she was a side piece?
I mean, she was very honest about these things. I don't think this is anything. She's not claimed to be his exclusive girlfriend or anything.
Well, I didn't hear her say that in the interview. She didn't say that she was a side piece.
Well, I don't think she used that phraseology, but she didn't claim that. What I'm saying, though, is that she didn't claim that she was an exclusive girlfriend. She said that when he was in town, they would meet up, and she indicated that it was while it was over a period of time.
It was read between the lines kind of thing.
Well, I haven't looked at that interview in a while, but no, I think it was pretty explicit in a way.
Right. And well, it's just kind of like, you're presenting information like, oh, she knew him for 2 years, but like, someone for 2 years and you dated him for 2 years. That's what you're saying. And then it's like, you're not pressing on, if you want to be fair, you're not pressing on the fact that how do you date someone for 2 years and you only meet their parents once when they literally live with their parents? Marilyn Manson lived with his parents during the time that they dated. Like, it's kind of like a frail, like, you can't give this person so much credibility when literally she was just like a groupie that, F buddy, like someone to call, a booty call, is what I interpret at least.
I don't think that she was claiming more than that. She was just saying that the Manson that she knew was not the one that is being represented by these women. Look, I interviewed women with a sort of a range of experiences. So some of them, like Greta Aurora, only had
to be groupies.
only had only it's as Amber Heard would say, I think it's a non sequitur. No, Greta Aurora only had, like a one weekend experience. And then some of them dated him like Paula for a number of months. And then you've got, I didn't interview her, but you've got someone like Rose McGowan, who was with him for years, living with him, engaged to him, and said that he was, a super, super sweet guy when they were dating, when they were together. So again, we all have to make our own subjective evaluations of what we see. But when I look at everything that I've researched and looked at, and that's available to me and you and whatever, and people I've talked to, this is what I think.
Right. But I guess I'm kind of going from the point of like, you want to be fair. So like, if you want to be fair, you got to go with like, okay, you should, I think it's only responsible. You're talking about a woman that says she dated Marilyn Manson 30 years ago, and it only makes sense to acknowledge that, well, she still has him as her Twitter banner 30 years later, and she's tweeting him saying, "Hey baby, do you remember me? We dated very long ago. I was your girlfriend. Like, do you remember me?" Like, everything about her, like, it just doesn't. And okay, yeah, you can say, it sounds like you're saying I can read between the lines, like, yes, but like your viewers aren't. Your viewers are taking this as if like,
I haven't looked at that interview in a while, but I remember thinking that it was pretty clear that it was a more casual relationship, one that took place over a couple of years, but that was more casual. I think that what it comes down to is trying to establish if this man has a pathological abusive behavior pattern with women. And I just feel like that I've talked to enough women to establish that in my mind. Especially I've talked to, like, for instance, Paula, who she was around Evan, Rachel Wood, and Manson, and never saw any abuse from Manson, but saw Evan acting irrationally at various times. And so again, like, to a degree, it's subjective. We look at the evidence, and you see something different, or you see someone's not credible or whatever. But I think overall, of course, there are weak spots and everybody's got issues, but overall, I do think that the indication is, look, nobody has proven that he did this. And I think there's a great indication that it's a hoax. So
Kurtz, you told me you wouldn't do canned answers, and I gotta say, this kind of sounds like canned response.
Well, it's the truth. It's just that I've been saying this stuff for a year. Well,
let's.
And so after a while, it gets pretty.
Sure. Yeah, I know. I feel like I'm watching a Kurtz video right now. Like, yeah, okay. But the thing that I want to just go off of with this, it's like, yes, people develop a pattern, but people do change, and that was a point in that video with LeSeur, and I understand. You haven't seen it in a while because it was from last year. But like, she said that people can't change in 30 years or 40 years. I think she did it in 40 years ago or 30 years ago. 30 years ago, maybe. I
don't believe that someone can be a gentleman with women and can be very sweet in his relationships, and then, like with Rose McGowan and a number of these others, and then can suddenly, several years later, develop an extremely pathological disposition, abusive.
But the thing is, okay, here's the thing. Because maybe he wasn't. I just
want to say, not to run away, but I've got about 5 minutes because we did say 2 hours. Yes.
Are you saying? Oh, fuck.
I gave you 2 hours. I can't do the marathons.
I know. Maybe I can stretch a little long because I have so much more to say. But
what if I come back? What if I come?
I personally do think that people can change within 15 years because that's, I think that's crazy. And, maybe he wasn't abusive towards women in the 90s. Okay, I can give you that point, sure. But he definitely was abusive towards his bandmates, unless you want to disbelieve all of his bandmates. Lisa LeSeur said that she was friends with...
said that he was abusive?
Yeah. The very drummer that Lisa LeSeur said that she was, that her friend was married to, he spoke out and said that Marilyn Manson was abusive. And there's video of Marilyn Manson kicking... John 5 on stage. Now you could say that's for performance. You could say that's for performance. Okay, we got it. But how about when John 5 says that he was punched in the dick by Marilyn Manson? Is that also is he lying too there too?
I mean, are you familiar with kind of like the mosh pit rock environment?
No.
I just don't think that
John 5. I'll send you the interview. Maybe you haven't seen it, but John 5 does not talk about that in any other way other than he was being sexually harassed by Marilyn Manson. He said when he was in front of women and in front of other people, he was being embarrassed and humiliated by Marilyn Manson being punched in the dick. That does not sound like a mosh or...
Well, there was a lot of extreme...
But what I'm saying, listen. Sorry, because I feel like I have so much to say in 5 minutes.
I know. Well, I told you we had 2 hours.
Oh my God. It's not been 2 hours. We need 10 more minutes, will be 2 hours. Okay, but anyways.
I'll come back.
My point is, look how quickly you dismiss it, though. You haven't even seen it, you dismiss it. Okay? Now, the biggest thing, though, like, if we have limited time, the biggest thing that I want to say, because you present yourself as an advocate against false accusers, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So why did you think it was okay to interview Lisa LeSeur and kind of hype up? Because you also did an interview before Lisa LeSeur, and why did you think it was okay to elevate her false allegation against Jessicka Addams?
You mean her
you believed it. You compared
of...
Jessicka to Amber Heard. Why did you do that?
You mean her reputation? She was
Jessicka Addams accused
accused Twiggy of.
She accused Twiggy of rape.
So she's not allowed to contradict what Jessicka Addams said?
Yeah, this woman who's a super fan, a groupie, complete nobody, doesn't know anything. Like Marilyn Manson even knows that this happened. She's allowed to speak. Just Marilyn Manson can corrupt. Look, I want you to do this. Message Marilyn Manson. Ask him if it happened. He will say it did. Like, I promise you. I have a text message from Marilyn Manson that says Jonathan Davis also knows that Twiggy did this. Jonathan Davis from Korn knows that Twiggy did this to Jessicka Addams.
Well,
so that's not that you're gonna dismiss that too.
You can't dismiss that. I'm gonna say we are way outside my wheelhouse, and so if you're gonna want me to start answering for the Twiggy situation, I'm gonna have to do some research before I come back, because I will admit that I'm not an expert on that.
So why would you elevate an allegation if you're not an expert though? That's the thing that really disappoints me about your channel.
I'm asking people questions and letting them speak, just like these other people are questioning.
But that's hugely irresponsible. You elevated an allegation that's provably false. Provably. That is one of the few rape accusations that has corroborations.
You saw this person being raped?
I didn't see it. Other people did and can corroborate it. I can give you a numerous amount of sources because I did reach out to Jessicka Addams.
Saw this woman being raped?
I did not. No, somebody did.
There are people who did?
Yes.
And they've testified to this publicly?
I don't know if all of them have testified publicly, but I personally, I can... If you'd like, I know we're on a quick schedule, but we can do a follow-up and I can give you all the sources, read you everything.
Okay.
But also...
Well, listen, I've got to go. Listen, I want to say this.
I know.
I really, though, for everybody in the chat, though, I want to say...
I want to get that out there.
I want to say, I appreciate this, and you did it. I do think we can all say that Edwin was fair. I believe fair to me. So, no, don't get upset with him or don't rag on him. But no, I appreciate you having me on here. I've got to go, but I'm open to speaking again. So anyway, I appreciate the fans, and I appreciate your fans for giving me a chance and everything. And I have to do a plug for my channel. Check out my channel. Even if you hate me, you can hate watch me. Yeah. It's like hate fucking.
Well, and also, if you need to go, I can say the departing words, but kind words. Honestly, thank you for stepping up to the plate for someone who's obviously very critical. And yeah, guys, I want to remind you guys that we did, we talked about, we knew it was gonna be like this kind of energy to some degree. So hey, no hate. I give her props, way more props than Legal Mindset, that's for sure. No shade, not from you. You're good. I think we can talk some more in the future. I'm glad you're open for another future thing. And if you want me on your channel, I can go on your channel as well. But yeah, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
All right. Bye, everybody. And
Take
bye,
care.
Edwin. I'll see y'all later.
Bye. I wish I got a 10-minute warning so I could have brought that up sooner. It's just I have so much to bring up, guys. But yeah, I'll wind down with you guys a little bit. We guys can talk with me about that, because it doesn't make sense. If she's asking me questions, then that doesn't seem like an allegation she should elevate, because she literally conceded that this fan was a groupie. This Lisa LeSeur, she conceded that she was a groupie that would follow Marilyn Manson, like a booty call. Essentially, she's not using that language because, even though she can call the women unequivocally liars, she's gonna be nicer to her interviewees. There's not the same kind of energy. And obviously, I will say that if I do speak to her interviewees, I will be much more respectful. I'm not a complete asshole. The only reason I'm an asshole towards Leslie Lane is because she lied on me many times for no reason. It's so weird. She literally trying to say that I have a video where I talked to I was all excited and giddy about talking to Evan Rachel Wood. That doesn't exist. It never existed. It's so weird. And then I'm obviously feeling very strong about Lisa LeSeur, because it'd be a different story if she was at least friends with Jordy White and said all this out loud, right? But she's not. So it's kind of awkward. Why are you speaking for someone that you're not even friends with? Why do you act like you have inside knowledge? So and she blocked me. When I didn't even get to that, I would have loved to ask her that question. So Lisa, I'm going to give you a second chance here, because I haven't edited that live stream. I did a live stream already addressing this, and I haven't finished editing it though. But if you're willing to answer for why you think that you can just make up false allegations against someone, And I do feel strongly that I think that the right thing for Colonel Kurtz to do is to remove that video. And if she wants to ask about my sources, I'll give you all the testimonies and everything. I'll give you everything you need. But if you don't remove that video, then you're being completely hypocritical about the whole, I'm an advocate for false accusers, okay? Nah, dude, you're ruining your own name on that one, Chief. But I'm giving Lisa LeSeur another chance. Otherwise, I'm going to mop the floor with you too, because it's fucking ridiculous to just like bold-faced be like, I'm such a Marilyn Manson fan. Because literally there's tweets of Lisa LeSeur kissing up to Jessicka Addams. But what happens once Jessicka Addams talks about abuse? Oh, no. I'm no longer a fan for you either. Like, dude. All right. Anyways, that was on my energy. What does Leslie Lane being a groupie have to do with the damning evidence Marilyn Manson is? What? Nothing. I never said anything about that. Don't stress too hard. Woo! Wop, wop, wop the floor, yeah. Anyways, but yeah, if anybody has any last minute questions, I'm down to stay live for another 15 or so minutes. Because I got the energy. Like up the stream, guys. We're almost at 222 likes. I do respect Kurtz for showing up. Yeah, yeah, as well, yeah. I know, I got high off the dopamine because she gave me a 5-minute warning and it was like a 3-minute. I was like, oh no, I need more time. I seem so antsy because, yeah, I was like, dude, I have so much more to say. I want the stream to keep going. But like, you know, my main point is that it's so interesting that she's so dismissive towards like anything that doesn't line up with her narrative. And that's kind of like what I mean. It feels like propaganda, you know, like, yes, that is what China would do. Like, because like, you know, when you ask me about the legal court case, I say, well, you know, personally, I haven't looked into it, but I will tell you that it seems sketch. Like that is my objective answer, you know? So like for her to immediately dismiss it and then ask for details, it's kind of like, That's where things get twisted for me. I want to come back and hear about Bubbles. Oh yeah, I didn't get to tell you about Deaf Noodles. I didn't get to tell Colonel Kurtz about Deaf Noodles. Oh my god, guys, Deaf Noodles today got pranked by his own employees. Because he's been playing a victim for so long that his own employees thought it would be funny to fake swat him. And he was literally sweating on his own podcast live stream for like 20 to 30 minutes. And then eventually stripper cops, like these stripper female cops, came into the podcast room and they literally, one of them took off her bra while they were live streaming on YouTube and started like trying to like zip. It was freaking whack to watch, guys. There's a clip on my Twitter. I can't show you guys obviously for the obvious reason because she showed titty on his live stream. It happened. Check out my Twitter, Mr. Edwin Costa. Here, maybe I can show you if I pause before that part. Oh my god. Hey. Okay, look, I'll show you and hopefully I pause it right before it gets to that part. But you can literally watch his live stream.
In the J and walking. That's not.
Let's risk my channel. Ready? Okay. This is the part where she's about to take it off. Anyways, no, but it was weird. You're playing a dangerous game here. What's my dangerous game? Oh, right there. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I was. See how I do have ADHD, guys, but so I already moved on back to the Manson thinking. Yeah, no, that was dangerous. It was not a swatting. No, he was being pranked by his own. And he got banned off Twitch again. He got suspended off Twitch for a second time. But anyway, yeah, there's a lot more lore to the whole Deaf Noodles, Kurtz, if you're still listening, but we'll get into it another time. See, that's the thing. I still have so many more notes that I could go through with Kurtz, by the way. Like, I actually thought last night that I was underprepared, but it turns out that, and like I was looking for more and more notes, and then it turns out I guess I was overprepared. But naturally, like, you know, conversations last a long time. So, but hey, I'm glad she's open-ended for another conversation or a collaboration. Maybe it'll be on our next channel next time, and I'll let you guys know if so. Take the hit for the boys show clip. You always act like I'm a hater. I'm sorry, Jada. I'm sorry. Oh, right there, what you just said right there, I'm recreating my memory of you. Oh, the Deaf Noodles video's down? Oh, dang. I'm sure he'll re-upload it without that scene. Edwin, why don't you give your fans a little nip slip? Oh, I said I would take my shirt off next time Salvo's in here. So if I co-host with Salvo again, we'll both go shirtless for a moment. I love Korn since '94. Oh, nice. OG. Me too. Check this out. Ready? I'm gonna use the force. Here we go. Oh fuck, I can't do it. Twist. Boom da dum dum nanida. So fight something fight something say fight. Something takes up out of me. Anyways. Oh, and for the Marilyn Manson fans, sometimes I feel I've got to. Whatever, bro. Anyways. Stop speaking in tongues. That's how I grew up. I'm gonna scare the Kurtz fans. No, they're Marilyn Manson fans, so they should appreciate Korn. Get away. I might do Twitch again. Maybe I'll do Twitch even later today. I still have the energy for it. But yeah, just to continue the conversation, I don't want to derail too much. I want to keep it on topic because I will be leaving this live stream up on the channel, as you guys know. God, there's so much I wish we could still said, but I really do appreciate guys. I like, you know, I just think that like that's like the biggest point. Like it took me like the only 2 interviews that I dissected so far from Kurtz are so intense. And you know what? Like I do want to reach out to like the other interviewees. Maybe I'll even do it before I dissect them on a live stream too. I'll before I even get to like say Vanessa or Paula or Pola. Those are 2 different people, by the way. Or like those seem like the 3 big players that she well, not Vanessa, but Pola and Paula are ones that I've seen her refer to as sort of prominent figures. So perhaps I'll reach out to them and hopefully I can just dissect them as well. And again, it's like I won't have the energy that I'm having here. Okay, guys, I swear, me and her planned to have it kind of like this. She says she can come back. Wait, not to this stream, not tonight. She says she had to go. I mean, if she wanted to come back right now, I would have her on. But she'll come back on a different day. And we'll let you know. Or if she wants to do some on her channel, I'm also open to it. It's only fair. Because, you know, she didn't really get to grill me. She only asked a few questions like, do you believe that he's totally guilty and it's not a hoax? I'm like, what? Well, I don't believe that he's totally guilty because that's a very like blanket question. And then she also asked like, and I can find plenty of racist examples, guys, like plenty, easily. I could do easy Google search. Let's see. I had no idea what the stream was about, but there's nothing else on. We'll rewind. It gets heated. Add the stripper cops to the call. I did follow. He has a swastika tattooed on him. Yeah, well, we can dismiss that. It doesn't mean anything. It's for the performance. We can. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. I did follow Corey, who is one of the Deaf Noodles friends, comedians, because he like replied to one of my chats in Deaf Noodles. I'm like, okay, maybe you want to talk. Maybe I'll reach out to someone. But when is the next viewer stream? Oh, maybe the weekend. The weekend is when I go live for hours and hours. I did go live for 7 hours on Monday, but that was completely accidental. And someone told me to take the stream down, so maybe I'll do it. I don't know. I'm curious to clip it because it's 7 hours and it was a really good stream. No reason to grill you when you have like 3 vids and she has like 500. Well, she has like over 70 on Manson and over like 90 on Amber Heard. And by the way, any more Manson fans? Seriously, Manson fans, if you're still here, or Manson supporters, I should say, because I know a lot of Manson supporters are not actually synonymous with being fans. Oh my god! And you know what? I forgot to change. I actually meant to change the chat. I kind of wish, you know what? I'll change it to so people don't have to be subscribers right now to talk on my show. I don't want to force you guys to be fans to be able to talk in case there's Manson fans here. Let's see if I can change that. Anyone can talk now. Okay. Boom. Still not as many Amber Heard videos as the Umbrella Guy. The Umbrella Guy tweeted out today that he's gonna start getting into the Manson train. Am I gonna have more than one enemy? I'm kidding. No, actually, the Umbrella Guy's wife called into my show the very first time I did a live stream on this topic here. So, and that was an interesting call, to be honest. That was extremely frustrating. You could not get her to admit fault even with proof. I know. Like, and that's the thing. Like, she's so quick to dismiss. It's like, bro, what do I have to do here? What do I have to do? And I don't know. Look, and also, I feel like I wish I could have had better ammo for when I asked her about like not talking to Manson. Because to me, honestly, I didn't know how to, like, I feel like that's the one point against me, to be honest. Like, the biggest point against me, you know, to not have, like, grill her as much on like having mutual followings with Manson. Like, I wish I could have done better, but like, I don't know how to say it, because to me it seems crazy. Like, how do you make your content revolve around, well, a large part of your content revolve around one person, but you don't bother reaching out and like, you know, hey, you know, how am I doing or whatever, off the record, or like, what, is there something you want to point me to? I mean, sure, it would be biased, but bias didn't bother you everywhere else. Oh my god. Edwin and Colonel Kurtz are about even in research. Hunty, not that I'm offended, but I can provide receipts for everything I say. That's the difference. Her evidence and receipts are just interviews that she's done. So it's kind of one-sided. Now, here's the thing. If I do an interview with one of her sources and I'm like, you know what, they passed the test, okay, then she can use it. But if it's just like, well, you know, I spoke to these women, okay, and you know what I mean? And you guys don't have to do comparisons as to who's better than who. By the way, I see two people did Edwin greater than Kurtz. No, it's fine. At the end of the day, though, like, what I did want to encourage when I would say, like, I want to encourage her to be more fair, because she says she wants to be more fair. Well, if you want to be more fair, either stop using critical labels on the accusers, or be open to using critical labels on your own interviewees when they fuck up. How can you not call Leslie Lane a superfan when her entire Tumblr page, Instagram page, YouTube channel are all super, like, Marilyn Manson based, bro? Come on, man. Come on. And she literally sold her house to follow Marilyn Manson on tour. That is a super fan, man. And she's like, I don't use that term. Okay. The term speaks for itself. I don't know, man. I don't know. I want fairness and not coddling. Exactly. And that's what I mean, by the way. By the way, when I say people coddle Marilyn Manson, what I'm trying to say is that they don't give the same energy. Like, they treat him like they immediately dismiss attacks, even when it literally came from him. When I try to say, well, he in his own text said that Lindsay is crazy. And she's like, well, I mean, I don't know if he meant that. I don't know if he was actually scared. I think he was trying to impress Johnny Depp. Which, you know what that tells me? I think she secretly is bigger fan of Johnny Depp than Marilyn Manson, but that's okay. I think the same. I think that Marilyn Manson was definitely trying to impress Johnny Depp. And I also say this based on sources that I've spoken to outside. But, you know, like, I don't go out of my way. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I would love to ask her about this source that says Evan Rachel Wood is friends with Amber Heard, because my source says otherwise. They were never friends. But hey, you know what? It makes Evan Rachel Wood look terrible to say that she's friends with Amber Heard. No, they never were. But you know what? Whatever. I want to know about your source. We'll compare source behind the scenes. Let's see. I think people are more likely to support JD and MM acting edgy because that's always been their shtick. But see, that's the thing. Even Johnny Depp has not been nearly as edgy. Like, I can pull you up a quote of Marilyn Manson joking about raping minors. Like, bro, how is that a fucking edgy? Like, pull me a quote of I mean, I don't know. Maybe Johnny Depp has the same kind of quotes. I don't know. I hope not. But, like, you know, like, there's literally some, like, what? How is that? Like, I don't know. Like, it's not the same level. People cannot compare Johnny Depp and Marilyn Manson. That's just my opinion. I know Marilyn Manson has a lot of edginess, but, like, not to the same caliber, my friend. Not to the same caliber. Let's wait for trial and facts. I mean, the different. Okay, I think that's a better argument to be made for people that are making videos about the trial. Like, I'm not making videos on that. I'm presenting that different kinds of perspectives, you know? Anyways. Sounds like an RFC viewer. Exactly. Exactly. But Marilyn Manson is 50 something. So a little too old to be an actual RFC viewer. Didn't ERW say she was friends with Amber Heard before she was ousted? No, she didn't. She never said that at all. But if I'm wrong, prove me wrong. But I've looked into this extensively because that is something that people repeat. And when you hear people repeat it, like literally a video that like I said earlier in the stream, actually, I don't know if you were there in the beginning, but towards the beginning, I pointed out how Colonel Kurtz uploaded a video yesterday in which she collaborated with another YouTuber, and the other YouTuber said that they were friends. She just casually says it as if it's a fact. And it's like, no. But people repeat this, so people hear it, and they're like, oh, okay, it's true. And instead of correcting her, Colonel Kurtz says, well, it's not confirmed, but I think it's true because I have a source that said so. And also, it's almost comical what Colonel Kurtz said. She's like, if you see the way they dress, you know, she literally went for that, guys. She said if you, like Amber Heard and Evan Rachel Wood have similar like dressing up styles and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, really? That's your proof of them being friends? Should I pull up receipts, or you guys can just check out her latest video? There, that's me shouting her out. Check out Colonel Kurtz, latest video from yesterday. I've seen pics of them together, but that doesn't mean they're friends. Yeah, there's a picture of Amber Heard in a on backstage in a with Marilyn Manson. Are they friends? Didn't Evan compare Harvey to Amber to Weinstein? She kind of okay. I think she was more so comparing the fact that people were in pictures. Are people? It wasn't the best metaphor, okay? And this is where Evan should take the L, because she got mad afterwards. But she was more so comparing the fact that, hey, what about the celebrities that I believe she said, what about celebrities that take pictures with Harvey Weinstein? Are they friends with him? And because she mentioned Harvey Weinstein's, people are thinking that Amber's being compared, you know, because the media is dishonest towards Evan Rachel Wood too. You'll notice, not just with Marilyn Manson, but with Evan Rachel Wood too. The media twisted that. And even YouTubers did, because guess what? It's not popular opinion to support Evan Rachel Wood. And that's the funny part. That's the funny part you'll notice. Like, you know, this whole narrative with Marilyn Manson supporters is all like, oh, the mainstream media, but they don't notice that they're like being completely on the other side of the pendulum. There is no fairness here. So I'm trying to go in the middle here and be like, okay, but what you're saying needs to be fact checked just as much as what the mainstream media is saying. Like, that's all I'm trying to do here. I'm not trying to pick a side. I'm trying to go to the middle, you know. Tons of celebrities, exactly. And I mean, look, I'll say Evan Rachel Wood, she kind of fumbled the ball there. Why would she say that? But you know, mistakes happen. Let's see the chat. Paula, and Zach have the best interviews. Colonel Kurtz, they aren't as biased as the rest. Well, I believe either Paula or Pola, one of them is also a super fan, to my opinion. But if I'm wrong, and if they're watching, I'll be honestly, look, here's what I'll say. I'll be surprised if one of these interviewees aren't watching the show. I'll be surprised if Lindsay Warner didn't catch at least some of this show. I'll say that much. Because I think don't you guys think it's weird that Lindsay Warner keeps close relationships and friendships with like Marilyn Manson supporters? Like, it's one thing to keep a relationship with supporters, okay? Like, that's fine. Like, I talk to my supporters, but also the ones that are toxic and like, you know, shit talking other people, like extremely toxic. Okay, that's a little sus. I would never enable that or endorse that. She also goes out of her way to follow and speak to and become friends with people like Leslie Lane, Lisa LeSeur. Why did Lisa LeSeur tell me that she's very good friends with Kurtz and Lindsay? Why am I being told different things that don't add up? You know what I mean? Like, isn't that sus? Why is like I get the argument that it's not wise for Manson to talk to people. Yeah, I agree. And I would also say that it's not wise, like, for Lindsay to talk to people. So why is she talking to people? Why is she talking to freaking Leslie Lane and Lisa? like to me, when I got blocked by Lisa LeSeur, it was really random because she already said that she would answer my questions, and then out of nowhere she blocked me. When I asked the first question, I asked her, "So you claim that you dated Marilyn Manson for 2 years, right?" And then she blocked me. I was like, "Huh, that's sus." She blocked me right after saying that she's friends with Lindsay Warner. I feel like she might have reported back to Mama Lindsay, and Lindsay was like, block him, don't say anything else." But of course, that's just my theory. I could be wrong. It just seems like very sus to me that Lindsay's talking to all these weird people. Come on, Manson fans. Is there any still in here? Come on, contest me on that one. You don't have to be a subscriber to talk. Come on. Manson cases? Are you still here, Manson cases? Let me scroll up because I do want to, even if they're no longer here in the chat, I want to look for the chats that are pro Manson or whatever. Wait, it's hard to find because the chat, once it scrolls up, I don't even know how. They might have left when Kurtz left. Edwin silenced my long message. I didn't silence your long message. I haven't timed anybody out. Edwin fan, Manson supporter, you should see if you could get on Legal Bites. She gets insight into the Manson stuff. Yeah, I would like to talk to her eventually, but like I am juggling like a lot of stuff, you know. I'm like I said earlier, I'm to me the stress reliever, the fun topic is Deaf Noodles. This one is kind of stressful because it takes a lot of work, you know, and it's like heavy topics. And then of course there's like Mama Max, which is also stressful. So like, yeah. Did it just finish? Yes, my cuddly savage. It just finished. Rewind, you can watch it though. Yeah, I can't. Let's see. Manson isn't gonna talk to anyone, and yeah, I get that. Let's see. I'm not look. Oh, dang it! I think the chat scrolled up too high. I can't see anybody that's pro Manson anymore. Dang it! The pro Manson people left, bro. This is a perfect Q&A with just me. Oh man. Oh well. Because I like to be grilled. I am open for criticism and to address it. You know. Jeannie D says, Edwin, how do you pick the subjects to cover you do? I guess if there's like an inherent interest, and the subject matter, I guess, does apply as well. It has to reel me in naturally. You know, I don't like to cover topics that I'm not super interested in. And if I'm not super interested in it and I cover it anyways, like I will call it, you know. But recently, everything that I've been covering, I'm super interested in, you know. You're pro Manson, Angie? Okay, well, any more questions? Manson to me was super interesting in the very beginning when I covered in 2020 because like it was being requested to me, but I wasn't that interested. I was like, okay, it's kind of interesting because Marilyn Manson, yeah. But it wasn't until the Metal Hammer magazine interview came out that I was like, ooh, okay, it really seemed okay. No, I liked all the implications, and then the more I looked into it, I was like, oh, bro, okay, it seems like they're talking about you, bro, and like you've said a lot of sus things. I didn't see. Oh my god, I didn't even get to ask Kurtz about the whole him cutting himself 148 or 158 times. You don't think that's like emotional manipulation? Like that's fucked up. Like he did that, confirmed, you know? Like that's documented and publicized. Like, I'm sorry, that's not your typical like volatile relationship, you know? Threatening to like cut yourself and proceeding to cut yourself each time you call Evan Rachel Wood. Imagine somebody telling you, if you don't come to me on Christmas Eve here, and I don't know if it was the exact timing, it was Christmas Eve, okay, I could be wrong about that minor detail, but it was like around Christmas time. He threatened to cut himself each time he would call Evan Rachel Wood, and he did. Well, at least he cut himself quite a few times, and there's literally picture evidence of that. So Evan cut herself too. I mean, okay, but did she threaten him? Did she use it as emotional blackmail? And I'm not even sure about that. I haven't not seen it, but if you're using that, like, there's a difference between like self-harm and emotional blackmail self-harm, which you like use in the media. Like you do 3 interviews, 2 written interviews and 1 in video that he talked about. Legal Bites presents the docs. Yeah, legal, like if I get, see, because here's the thing. I want to like, look, when I first like, because before I even did my cross-examinations on Kurtz's video and even the interviews. I mentioned that I was been wanting to get back into Marilyn Manson in like a casual live stream, and like there was a few chatters that would be like, "Oh, Edwin, you should watch Colonel Kurtz." You know, blah blah. Okay, I'll go there. But like, so right now my mission is to be like, put the heat on these people that she, you know, in the same live stream, she was like, I've interviewed these women, and, you know, these are my sources. Like, if she's going by the source of these women, like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, you can't use them as like credible sources if they haven't been grilled properly. Like, anyone that Amber Heard brings on stage in the court, should that be allowed? Or shouldn't they deserve to be cross-examined by Johnny Depp's team, right? Yeah. But not that it's anything like that, right? It's just like a lot of these stories kind of just take over. We've seen it. The social media will take over the narrative. And right now, find me one YouTuber that's anti-Manson. I'm sorry, but the whole of YouTube that makes videos on the story and case, it's all pro-Manson. Every them. And I'm not even anti-Manson. I mean, you could say I'm leaning against him, but I'm more critical. I'm just trying to like question things because nobody is questioning. Nobody is questioning anything. Nobody. And it's crazy to me. Like, it's so crazy that, like, you know, this is becoming the next mainstream media. Social media is becoming the thing that nobody questions, and they just take everything as fact because credible sources. Wait, your credible sources are people that you interview, and when they're asked simple questions, they decide to lie and block and what? Anyways. Duality Reality says, for real, Edwin, you have a good... thank you for giving balanced viewpoint. I appreciate it. And like I said, I appreciate anybody. Wait, there's more out there, more anti-Manson? Wait, okay, so Alan, let's do some live research. Tell me at least 3 channels that are anti-Manson, please. Because maybe I'm wrong, but I did research and I guess I did Google search or YouTube searches, and I couldn't find any pro-Manson or anti-Manson YouTube channels. Everybody that I found was like anti the women. Women are liars. Pro Manson. I don't know her name, but there's always some girl's videos I see linked. Okay, so that sounds like one channel, and you don't know her name. So if there's so many channels that are if there's more channels that are anti-Manson, then you should be able to at least quickly search and, you know, give me a few, right? If there's way more, because I can list you at least 3 that are pro Manson. So let's see. We got or maybe not like in the same rhetoric as Kurtz, in that they dedicated a ton of videos, but that have made videos that are for his favor. So we got Colonel Kurtz, the Umbrella Guy, who he's mentioned Manson a few times, but each time it was in his favor. There is Popcorn Planet, another guy. Well, actually, technically speaking, the one time that I saw him bring on Colonel Kurtz, he was kind of fair. He let Colonel Kurtz speak, but I guess, you know, I wouldn't say he even really endorsed her, but like, you know, I guess he let her on, and she like spoke like, you know, her side. She went uncontested, so we don't have to use that one. There's a channel Carries. In fact, I could just do a live Google search on right here. I can show you guys. Let's see, Marilyn Manson. We just do this live. It's so easy. Okay, so obviously we got the easy one right here. Okay, well, right here. Oh wait, no, this is an interview. Okay, let's see here. Oh, let's add innocent, right? Right here. Here's another one. Well, actually, I have not seen this one, so maybe I could be wrong. My thoughts may shock you. I have a feeling this is... Let's see the description. Oh, at first I stood with Manson. There you go. There, we don't have to watch the video to know that she's the pro-Manson. The only other YouTuber that I know that is anti-Manson, I would argue, but she's not even very direct, is Evie Lupine. But other than that, I don't know any other ones. 15 Reasons Why I Believe Marilyn Manson. Different channel, okay? Dr. Soup, pro-Manson. There you go. That's already 4 channels, man. So, and even Tamimi, she wasn't very directly either or, by the way. But that's only one video. This is a lawyer. So again, I presented my case. Now chatter, your turn. Your turn. You said there's way more anti-Manson videos or channels. So go on. Homeboy's got receipts, guys. Just because I changed my username doesn't mean that I that I've changed my receipts motto. Herbs and Altars, is that an anti-Manson channel? Some older goth scene girl is anti-Manson. Well, okay, if you don't say the usernames, I can't. I don't know who that is. Backstage at 9 Inch Nails / Manson concert, Trent wasn't as bad. It definitely ring led by Manson and Twiggy. Honestly though, guys, okay, and I wish I would have seen the chats. Like, when I didn't pay attention to chats because I was like all charged. Oh, by the way, Evie's in here. Yeah, Evie, how many channels have you made about Manson too, though? But man, hey, no, but like, you know, if we're real, I strongly my belief is that there's way more, like, because even the channels like Tamimi, she made one video about Manson. You know, Evie, I think she's made like 2 or maybe 3 or 4 max. I'm pretty sure, but I could be wrong. But like, it just doesn't really compare with like more tabloid-like YouTubers that constantly cover every Manson update, you know? Herbs and Altars. And she's not pro or anti? Oh, okay, then that doesn't really count then, does it? Anyway, point is, look, I think I rest my point. I think I rest my case. There was one person specifically in the chat. I already can't find their chat that was trying to say, Alan, you were trying to say that there was more anti-Manson content on YouTube. If you want to compare notes, join my Discord. And I know this is like hella petty. You don't have to or anything, but hey, feel free to talk. I have a Discord chat channel. If you into Discord, and I have a Manson channel in there. You can talk all Manson, and you know, we can talk about like, I don't want it to be an echo chamber. I'm very critical of stuff. You know, like. Like I said earlier, when someone super chatted about the FBI letter, like, it's all good. I'm moving the goalpost? What do you mean? I said, like, it's everything I said still stands. Even if we want to count channels that have made dozens of videos on Manson versus channels that have made 1 or 2 videos on Manson, there's still way more pro Manson channels, okay? I'm sorry if I sounded like I was moving the goalpost. I still rest my case. But it's not that big of a deal. I'm sorry that I stayed on this topic for so long. But hey, if I'm wrong, there's my Discord channel. We can have a one-on-one talk. Anyway, let's see what else the chatters say. I'm sorry for staying on that topic. I feel silly for staying on topic so long. Screw your Google search. Google Church. I accidentally said Google Church when I meant to say Google Search or YouTube Church. About what qualifies as anti-Manson? I mean, we could click on the video, but I don't want to waste time on that topic anymore. I apologize. More people I know are anti-Manson. If I say I listen to his music, people think I'm pro R-wording people. I mean, here's the thing. That maybe, are you saying that's a sentiment in real life or like on social media? Because I think that it's, you know, I think your point is actually a strong case of what makes people more pro Manson. You know, just like why Kurtz believes that. Kurtz kept going back to the whole point of like, oh, he's being canceled. I think he's being unfairly canceled. I felt like I was watching a Kurtz video. Like, bro, what? Are you reading a script here all of a sudden? Like, yes, I get it. He's being canceled. But like, in that case, complain to Sumerian Records, or I think that was the label that dropped him. Complain to them. Complain to, what's his name? Tony Ciula. Complain to his manager. His manager dropped him. Why? Why his manager dropped him? Like, I'm sorry, but there's no way that Tony Ciula didn't know anything. Like, isn't that kind of sus that his manager of like literally decades dropped Marilyn Manson? That's kind of sussy, in my opinion. Complain about him. Make videos on Tony Ciula. Tony Ciula, dude, the guy that made millions for Marilyn Manson. He made Marilyn Manson a literal millionaire, and Marilyn Manson made him a millionaire right back. Actually, that's a better argument. Marilyn Manson made Tony Ciula a millionaire, and he turned his back on him. Where is the rage there? Why is the rage entirely on the women? When in reality, I strongly believe that you can't get canceled unless you cancel yourself. Now, of course, there's instances in the celebrity world when you get dropped by labels and all this. So why are you bitching at the women? Bitch at the fucking label. Bitch at Tony Ciula. Is that so disagreeable? I don't know. Is it? Like, I'm sorry. If you support Manson and you think that he's being unfairly canceled, complain to the people that are canceling. At the end of the day, people on the internet are going to have their opinions. You know, I strongly believe that that Michael Jackson is innocent. I strongly believe that. I'll fight anybody on a voice call. Okay, why not tonight? But you know, and guess what? At the end of the day, it doesn't really like what am I gonna do? Picket people? Like, bro, all I can say is do your research, right? But like the way people complain as if he's being unfairly canceled. Okay, well, complain to that TV show that he got dropped. Complain to those people. Don't complain to, you know, like, oh. He should be suing HBO or, yeah. Why doesn't Marilyn Manson sue HBO or that TV show or why doesn't he sue Tony Ciula or Sumerian Records? He should add them all. You know. I'm having fun, by the way, guys. I can't do anything against cancel culture. I hate cancel culture. Costs us more. Jack Sparrow. Hey. Johnny Depp was in the MTV Movie Awards. He made a good joke. I don't know about that one, Yvette. Jeez, I hope not. God, I hate that I read that in my own mind. Fuck. I guess it's fair to judge people for their taste in music, but I think condemning people for listening to music is based. Yeah. No, you know what? I think I agree. Like, I won't judge you if you say Marilyn Manson is my favorite artist. You know, like for me personally, like. Maybe it's because I'm so involved in this YouTube thing as well. Like, even at first when I was making the video and at first when I, you know, covering the story, I could still like listen to Sometimes I Feel I've Got to Get Away. Or like, what's the other songs? That's like the only one I know. No, I know. Wait, let's see. Like, I could still listen to them. Nowadays, I'm just like, oh, it's like, I can't really enjoy it, you know. And it's up to the person. Let's see, he's also got the beautiful people. Hey, what do you say? But like, okay, I never really got into Marilyn Manson growing up. I mean, I liked some of the songs, but like when I listen to an artist, I look for like the vocal uniqueness, right? So I love Jonathan Davis's uniqueness. I love Serge from System of a Down's uniqueness, even Darren, and I love like Corey Taylor from Slipknot's uniqueness. Like, I don't have my voice scratchy enough to start doing Slipknot, but I love Slipknot. Let's see who else is there that really inspired me growing up. Steven Tyler. Even though Steven Tyler hooked up with like his stepdaughter or something, that was kind of weird. That was really weird, actually. Don't go down the Aerosmith. Oh shit. Oh, the meeting ended. Okay, I forgot I was on Zoom. I forgot I was live streaming from Zoom. What the hell? That was so funny. Okay. Okay, here I am. I'm back. I was screen sharing my Zoom. Yeah, Steven Tyler is another one that inspired my singing. And I hate to say, but even Jimmy Urine from MSI, awkward that he's got these allegations going on right now that he's hiding in New Zealand, right? But like, I love his like his singing style was so unique. Like, I'm not the king, but it's reset. I stick a, you know, like I like the way he goes. I like that song. Like, what else did he go? From the Wu-Tang Clan, I'll be hectic and running for the hectors. I forgot how he does that. Covers like, and then he has that. MSI guys, if you want to get real edgy, listen to Mindless Self-Indulgence. I love my mommy cause she fucked my dad. I love my mommy cause she fucked the shit out of my dad. Like, what the fuck kind of lyrics are those, right? Anyways. But I like the voice variation. Who else? Who else I really like their voices? I really like even like Limp Bizkit. I like the whininess. Limp Bizkit, gotta have face, baby. Oh, some people that are not rock. I like Death Cab for Cutie, Postal Service. Michael Jackson also is like has a great voice, of course. Anyways, I got really off topic. You guys, I really get off topic. Well, there's really no topic. I just start going off. MSI was a disappointment. But also it's bonkers. All the info was out there, but flew under the radar. I might actually have an update with MSI soon video, so we'll see. Wouldn't you date a hot stepmom? Yeah, I would. Sure, I would. Yeah, I'm not. What? What kind of random question is that? Oh, you retracted it. Okay. Francis Courtney Love's kid had MSI after party or 16th birthday. Good times. Oh, Courtney. Okay. Yeah, I think that was actually there's like an article about that. You know, there's a lot of sketchy stuff going on with the celebrity world. Got any favorite female fronted bands? I like. Geez, now you're making me sound like I only listen to men. I like Lady Gaga and I like Kesha, because I like how Kesha goes. One of my favorite songs by Kesha is "Blow." This place about to blow. I love the part where she almost screams. And then I like that. My second favorite song from Kesha is Dancing with Tears in My Eyes, because it's such a beautiful song. I feel like it's like, you know, she's talking about having to like keep a strong face when you know the shit's like crumbling around you. She's like, I'm dancing with tears in my eyes, just trying to get through the night. I'm losing it. You know, you ever been through those like you just have to go out with your friends because like you have to, and then like you're just going through it and you just have to pretend. It's like, oh, fucking Kesha, man. Who knew she had it in her? I mean, with that pop album, I mean. But let's see, who else do I like? I like some like metal artists too. I think it was it Arch Enemy that had like a really cool Royals cover. We will never be royals. I like when women can scream too. It's kind of cool. I like In This Moment. They have some pretty good tracks too. Hey, I listen to fucking women too. Oh, I love AFI, Davey Havok. If I would say my biggest influence is singing, Davey Havok, 100%. Korn, obviously, or Jonathan Davis, and Corey Taylor. You know. Love like winter. Whoa, whoa. He's got such a unique voice, you know, like, hey, Miss Mudda, can I? Nobody does it like Davey Havok. But I haven't really been listening to their new albums, to be honest. I just really loved Sing the Sorrow, and I can't even remember the one that Love Like Winter was on. I'm a fake fan. Oh, oh, December Underground. Listen when I say it's real. Colonel Kurtz says mine is cloudy. Usually you have more viewers. Well, this is a very niche topic, I think, for my I wouldn't say this is not as interesting for my as a topic, you know, and that's okay. Like, here's the thing, guys. Like, when you cover topics that are not as YouTube wide, you have to kind of convince viewers to get into it. And I hope that I can, like, you know, a lot of people in my chat, like, I tweeted out, I was like, hey guys, it would mean a lot if you supported me, because this was kind of like we went into it expecting some sort of blood sport kind of energy, not totally blood sport, but like a debate kind of energy. I mean, not that I need to prove to you guys, show her the DM, whatever, because she even said it, but like, she wanted me to go hard on her, and she's very good at talking. I think everybody can agree. Watch some of her videos. She's very good at talking. So I knew that I had to like step my game up, and I was like, you know, I get anxious, not nervous, but a little anxious when I confront people, no matter who it is. So like, you know, I was like, fuck, my mouth is all dry. Not anymore. I needed water, so I'm glad that she eventually needed to like switch rooms. Like, okay guys, I need to get water. But yeah, I got so annoyed at the beginning, not annoyed, but like frustrated. I was thinking, oh my god, I have so much more to say, and I still have so many more notes, guys. Ooh, check out Mr. Bungle, Mike Patton. I've heard some of Mike Patton before. Maybe I'll do a Twitch after this, and I'll do singing. Need a beat maker? Are you a beat maker? Maybe, to play in the background. I can't trust these lo-fi beats. Sometimes they're like actually copyright, and then I'm like, oop. People attack me for my comments on MSI. Yeah, like MSI, I feel like MSI explicitly, some of the songs are more awkward. Like, you know, you can't really go along and listen to some of their songs that are very explicitly like making jokes about minors, and it's like, well, bro, why? Like, why you have a song about like panty shot? That's so awkward. Like, MSI has a song, panty shot can't contain. Like, what? Like, he's like, I can't help myself from looking at the panty shot of like a 15-year-old. Like, why you have a song about that, bro? Let's see what other chats I missed. What's my favorite Gaga song? I have a lot of favorite Gaga songs, to be honest. I love her art pop album. I have a lot of songs that I like. Fame, doing it for the fame, cause we wanna live the life of the rich and famous. That's not one of my favorites, but it just came to my mind. I even like the Joanne album. I didn't really get into the jazz stuff. Why wouldn't his manager drop them while he's being canceled and not really? Oh, thank you for getting us back on the Manson topic. Oh my god. And not releasing anything or touring. M. Burke, he actually had Marilyn Manson had literally just released an album less than a year before he got dropped. So I think you're incorrect in that one. So I'm pretty sure he was planning to tour. It's just, let's see. Oh yeah, COVID was still pretty fresh though. So like he obviously couldn't tour right away, but I'm pretty sure Manson would have toured his new album. So like it doesn't really make sense. Like he really should go against his manager, Emberg. I don't know if you're still in the chat. Sorry, I'm scrolling up in the chat to make sure, you know, we read all that. Art Spicer Kurtz says, Edwin, did you just say Jimmy is hiding in New Zealand? That's where I live. I'm gonna find him. Yeah, he's over there. If you find him, let me know. Separating art from the artist is not a black and white decision. It's case by case. Exactly. Excuse me, Gabriel? I'm not even gonna read that one out loud. Let's see. Anyways, I hope I convince some, like, you know, Manson fans, Manson supporters though, to like, you know, see my perspective that I'm not like, I'm a pretty reasonable guy as well. Hollow Water says, well, Chester Bennington. Yes, Chester Bennington is very big inspiration for me as well. But vocally, he's much more difficult to imitate live. But I love when I used to sing a lot more in my 20s. Now like I kind of stopped, and I'm not as good as a singer as I used to be. But I used to love singing "Given Up." Like I remember, like sometimes I could even do the whole scream for like the whole 30 seconds that he screams, "I've given up." But yeah, I love him, and he's the first celebrity that I cried when he passed away. Chester Bennington, rest in peace. I'm sick of feeling. Is there nothing you can say? Well, the only celebrity actually that I've ever cried for. Jada says the Gabby Hanna stream was such a vibe. I hope you have a calm group like that again. You look at the comments, guys. The comments on that live stream, they would not agree with you, Jada. I was on the fence whether to leave it up because like when Gabby Hanna came on and started talking about like Jesse Smiles, I was like, I kind of want to, like, you know, optically speaking, this isn't the best, but yeah, it's whatever happens. Evie Lupine says, I think I missed the debate. I think in total I've made like 10 videos. Oh, but in the span of 2 years. Okay, that's fair. Also, Evie, you should definitely rewind. Okay, now I think I scrolled up a little bit too much. Let's see. Now I gotta keep up with the current chats. Thinking I have to scroll up again. Can you sing some Cupcake songs? No. Mina says, when I find out you liked art pop, I was obsessed with you. Dude, art pop. When I was in Spain, I remember vividly, I was in Alicante and I would listen to art pop, like what's the song? Oh, jeez, I'm still like all over the place, but like You know, every time I do live streams and like I have a guest on, I always have to like unwind myself because I'm like I get so like, you know. What was the song art pop that I? Mary Jane Holland. Oh, I have such a vivid memory of like walking in Spain, like listening to Mary Jane Holland, and also Jules. Oh my god! And you know, it's too bad about what's his face, the R worder, the guy that was into kids, because that was such a good song they did together, R. Kelly and Gaga. But I also like the song G-U-I. Oh, Alan says Loma Vista. I kept saying Sumerian Records, so I said it like twice. That was my bad. Sumerian Records is actually Jonathan Davis' solo record label. Loma Vista is albums, yeah. Is Manson's record label. You don't like Paramore? I never really got into Paramore, to be honest. Anyways, but yeah, I kind of wanted to keep it. I kind of wanted to keep it more Marilyn Manson. Any other last Marilyn Manson guys? Marilyn Manson talk. I'll consider going to Twitch after this, but I don't know. We'll see. Either way, I should start wrapping it up. But anything else Marilyn Manson, in case I have anybody else's attention. I know there's a few Marilyn Manson supporters. Any other questions? Anything else you want to grill me on? Whatever. Didn't Manson blow mucus on audience when he had swine flu? Whoa, I didn't know that part, to be honest. But yeah, this is a great stream, as you guys know. Thank you to the super chatters. Thank you to everybody for coming out, even if you didn't. Like, this is, I appreciate this. This meant a lot to me to have you guys tune in, because like this is obviously intense, you know. Last time I didn't even realize I actually did have a debate with you know, Amber Heard supporter recently, but before that I don't really do confrontations. So, but this went a lot better than that one, that's for sure. You have messages of Manson saying Twiggy did it? Show us on Twitter. I talked about it. I will show it in my video breaking down the Lisa LeSeur. Hopefully I can get that video up for tomorrow, or if I can't get it up for tomorrow. Wait, what's today? See, the thing is, okay, I might actually move it till next week, but I definitely include it in there. The thing is, I want to get into... the thing is, I want to do videos leading up to my Saturday show, guys. Every single Saturday, if you're new, I do a long-ass stream. I don't mean to, but it just happens to happen, right? And chaos ensues. And I want to get back on the Mama Max arc. So I think I want to try to get 2 Mama Max videos leading up to a Saturday show. And that way I can have a Mama Max related Saturday show where I have maybe Olivia from the Mama Max Accusations call in. And then, yeah, so if I don't have it this week, I'll definitely have the Lisa LeSeur video on Monday. But yeah, I stand by what I said, that I think that it's very irresponsible for someone that's like, because I mean, I'm not gonna go through the whole video right now from Lisa LeSeur and Kurtz, but like Kurtz literally says, oh well, that sounds like it's another Amber Heard, Johnny Depp. Like she concedes so quickly. And it's crazy to me that, like, to claim that you're like against false allegations, but yet you just took this on. And not even that, you can literally search. Before she even uploaded that interview, she went on somebody else's channel to boast about it. And she's like, yeah, I even have somebody, she's gonna drop some tea on the whole Twiggy Ramirez, Jessicka Addams. Like she's excited. She was giddy to drop a false allegation that, even as she admitted in my live stream, she didn't know that much about. And here's the thing, I'm saying false, but at the very least, she is just perpetuating an allegation that she doesn't know whether it's true or false, but she's presenting it as false herself, or she's presenting like as truth. Sorry. So I think that was pretty fucked up. What was the false allegation? That she was just saying that, oh, Jessicka Addams was the abuser, not Twiggy. And it's like, what? Because like that's like a double allegation. Not only is she completely dismissing Jessicka Addams, who was corroborated by Marilyn Manson amongst other people in the industry, but she's also like, you know, saying that Jessicka Addams was an abuser. And it's like, first of all, Lisa LeSeur, why don't you have sources? Who are you? Where were you? Where did you see this? You know, like that's pretty heavy, don't you think? Like, how would you guys feel if somebody said that you were an abuser or someone you knew was an abuser? Wouldn't you want to grill that? Or what if you came out about someone that abused you, and all of a sudden, like a random person that you didn't even know said that, oh, I don't know, actually, I'm pretty sure they abused that person. Yeah, and you're like, wait, who the hell are you? Like, right? Like, just put yourself in that position for once, you know? And that's something else that I wanted to talk to Kurtz about. Like, have you ever been in a position yourself where like you knew somebody that was like, you know, SA'd? Like, can you relate to that at all? Because it's crazy to me how she so immediately dismisses things, you know? Oh my God, there's so much more to talk to for real. This gonna be another accidental 10-hour stream? Nah. I approve. Do we have proof that Twiggy is guilty? I mean, I'm telling you. I mean, here's the thing. I don't have a video, okay? But I ask Marilyn Manson. I'm gonna push. Marilyn Manson said it himself. Okay, Marilyn Manson knows. So I think why don't you have Colonel Kurtz ask Marilyn Manson? That could be the best first ever exchange, because it's not even related to him directly. It's directed towards his former bassist, his former bassist. So I think Kurtz should ask him if I'm lying, because that's how confident I am. She has direct contact with Marilyn Manson. She should ask him. So this other YouTuber Edwin told me that this happened and you corroborated it, and you even name dropped Jonathan Davis from Korn. Is this true or not? Have her ask him, because I mean, either Marilyn Manson lied, which would be weird because there's like, you know, a text message, and that's the thing too. Like, there's more corroborations and more people that can back her up, and also I believe there's more victims as well from Jordy. But like, I guess I use Marilyn Manson because he's like the one that literally fired Twiggy for that reason, you know. The lady on your stream looked like an Onision fan. She's on the older crowd. I don't know if that's what it is. CJ Brown. Do you think it's weird that Kurtz ran after Jessicka Addams? I don't know if that was a coincidence. I think she ran right before I brought her up. I think she, not ran. I'm not using that term. I think she had to go, which is fine. I didn't, you know. I knew that I was limited on time. I just wish I got a little bit earlier warning. Dude, do you listen to Jack Off Jill? I never really listened to Jack Off Jill, to be honest. I had friends in high school that did. I remember like people wore the shirts. Edwin said that he was gonna show a screenshot in the video. Yeah. Hope Emily Baker covers the Manson trial. She's very unbiased, and I just want to see the evidence. Just because his manager dropped him does not mean it's real. Well, I'm not sure what you're replying to. I wasn't saying that Manson is like, you know, confirmed accusations because he was dropped by his manager. I was trying to say that he's literally, cancellations only happen like if you allow it. And hey, let's face it, he had a really terrible response, first of all. And second of all, I guess he was technically canceled in that he was dropped from 2 TV shows, and you know, his manager dropped him in his record label. So like, redirect the anger at the manager and the record label. Why at the ladies? You know, I mean, I guess you could have some at the women too if you want, but like, you know what I mean? That's what I was trying to say. I wasn't trying to say that because he was dropped and made him guilty. I'm saying like, whatever. She had a class after schooling you? She schooled me? JFK says, don't get what your issue with Lisa is. I'm confused. Well, can you ask it specifically? Wait, JFK in the chat. You don't get what the issue is. JFK, can you tell me ASL? Where are you from? Or you don't have to tell us specifically. What's your age, and are you a man or a woman? Just let me know, and I can maybe relate to you on like a personal level here. Because again, I already presented the question. And I want to make it very personal to you because you don't understand what the problem is with Lisa. And I want to give her a chance, by the way. I want to give her a chance as to why she believes it's okay to spread false allegations. You don't think that's wrong, JFK? JFK in the chat. John F. Kennedy. I want to ask you why you don't think that's wrong directly. ASL. Yeah, I know. I never said that. Well, you're saying you don't see what my issue is with the Lisa LeSeur. I'm presenting what my issue is, and so why? What do you mean? I'm confused. Do you think? Oh, I already read that one. Appreciate effects. Manson, I did not divorce Twiggy as a friend or brother because I still care about him greatly, but I can't say that my musical relationship with Twiggy has been good for several years. Yeah. You know, here's the thing. That doesn't really say anything, does it? That doesn't say anything. Like, if Manson can't support his ex-girlfriend, Rose McGowan, when she came out about Harvey Weinstein, you think he's gonna publicly, explicitly support Jessicka? I mean, I think it was a big on its own that he was willing to fire Twiggy, though. JFK kind of fell off after that car ride. All right, JFK in the chat. Where are you at? I'm trying to see your chat. Okay, but yeah, I think the chat's slowing down. I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm not like specifically mad on the ladies, but I can't stop the tidal wave of cancel culture. Why are we not talking about Kurtz bolted? Well, she did say she was limited on time. If anything, I probably should have brought that up a little sooner, but I don't know. It's whatever. We're open to talking again. JFK says, I understand what you're saying. I missed the bits, I think. Okay. Yeah. If you literally just rewind to the part where I brought it up to Kurtz, you'll see why, you know? And again, hey, I don't know. Yeah. I think Manson didn't support Rose publicly because he knew ERW was coming for him soon. She was dropping hints. No, but I'm talking about after she came out. After she came out, like, he could have supported her, you know? Because she was getting a lot of heat. The stream will be up so they could always review it. Yeah. All right, yeah. All right, any last minute questions, guys? I'm gonna wrap it up. It's been fun, though. I'm gonna wrap it up. I missed the Korn talking. Korn is great. Look, Korn stays unproblematic, okay? Except for David, the former drummer. He's a little bit out there, but he's no longer in the band, so oh well. Can you sing for us before you leave? Well, I mean, I was thinking of going to Twitch, but I think I've already been live for a while. I think I'm gonna just skip it. I need to get back to editing. If I'm gonna try to upload a video for tomorrow, I need to really edit. So unfortunately, guys, I'll have to see you guys this weekend, unless I do a Twitch sometime in the next couple days. Maybe if I can finish editing early today, I'll do a Twitch tomorrow, the next day. But otherwise, last minute chance before that. Do you crumble or fold your toilet paper? Crumble? Who crumbles their toilet paper? Bruh. What? Bruh. What should you make for dinner? Spaghetti! Edit on Twitch. Edit on Twitch. Nah. Illma Gore dated one of Manson's former assistants. What, who? I thought she dated Heaven Richard Wood. Thank you, Edwin. Google hates me, so I'm joining Patreon instead. Thank you. Thank you for joining. The thing about Patreon, I don't post the streams till like the next day, so you will have to wait a little bit, but hey, thank you. I appreciate all the support. I missed it, so you better leave it up. Yes, this is staying live. And the only thing I was a little self-conscious about was the volumes. That's why I kept asking the chat, because people kept saying that her voice was a little lower. So hopefully it's all good. Hey, whoa, Mickey, Vicky. Just kidding. Are you gonna leave this up? Yes, this is gonna stay up on the channel. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate it. Honestly, thank you. Even if the people that are on the other side or whatever, I appreciate you guys for listening in. And appreciated facts. I already answered that. I don't think that Kurtz ran. I think she was already saying. I mean, you could rewind and see. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Kurtz said that she was leaving before I brought Jessicka up. So, you know. Rudy said you can't seriously be on Gabby's side. She's batshit insane. Look, I'm not. I'm on her side on many things, not everything. Like if it was up to me, I mean, technically it was my show. I did try to get her to calm down when she was going off on Jesse. That's all I'll say. Okay, like I'm like, girl, you know, I think Gabby can be her own worst enemy. Okay, because but nobody's perfect. I think she's flawed. Just like I think Jesse's flawed. Nobody's perfect. I think it's ridiculous to be like, you can't be on side. I don't think it's direct sides. You know, I just want to be critical. But hey, I get it. You know what? I had Gabby on my show. Crucify me. It's bound to happen. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate the hell out of you guys. I had a lot of fun. And yeah. Cool. Peace out, everybody. Ending the stream now.